Hey, what's up, everyone? Thank you for tuning in to the podcast, and thanks to our sponsor, SS96. Still rocking with us in 2022, and it's so amazing. We appreciate you. SS96 is putting out new merch and still has some of your favorites. Get your Xzequtive Productions t-shirts, Swish Masters t-shirts, as well as Farm Raised Entertainment t-shirts. Don't forget to check out Straight Stoners music, as well as my own release under Xzequtive Productions. It's available on all streaming platforms, and new music is in the works, so stay tuned. Go to ss96.net and use the promo code Swish Masters to get this kind of merch today. Thank you all again. We're grateful.
I've done this for a long time, and everyone will tell you the closeout game is the hardest game.
Certainly the Heat this year have been a team that's been comfortable being uncomfortable. It's been all about the next man up mentality.
Now the Bucks have taken care of business in the last couple games, and we'll see if they can do it again here tonight in Game 5.
The Warriors do not want to go back to Denver, right? This Denver Nuggets team is one that has proven it can come back from some pretty improbable odds.
We are underway.
Smart lead for Jaylen Brown. Jaylen switches to the left hand, throws by Mills and flushes hard with the right hand.
Celtics are a complete team, and they've been the best team in the NBA in the last 4 months.
We knew it was going to be a dogfight from game one. 4-0, but, each game was back and forth. Each game was tough. But, we believed in ourselves.
Denied! Oladipo with the rip. Hands it to Vincent. Pushing it down. Bounce past the Strus. Lay in right hand, left side.
Really inspiring team win. We clearly had some adversity in this game, not having Kyle or Jimmy, and our group doesn't even blink.
Keep doing it, right? Keep doing it on that end, then run.
Bobby Portis gets up the first shot, and Giannis with a throwdown.
I was just glad to set the tone. Our team just kept playing hard, kept keeping their composure, kept moving the ball, kept making shots. So as a leader, I just want to set the tone.
Steph showing a handle, and he buries a three-point jack.
Just settle in. They're getting nothing easy, right? The game plan, you guys are executing it perfectly.
Curry gets it back, double teamed. 3 to shoot. Curry, left hand. He would not be stopped. Golden State Warriors starting to get that old championship look in their eyes as they dispatch of Jokic and the Nuggets.
I had a lot of nerves through 3 quarters, but we figured out a way to get it done. Get to the next round and keep building, man. It's nice to be back, though, I'll tell you that much.
Ended that series on a positive note. Now we get to get ready for another fun, another tough series against a great team. It's a playoff time, best time of year.
But the job isn't done yet. There's still a lot more basketball left.
We got to get ready for the next series. Enjoy this one right now and get ready for the next one.
What's up? Welcome back to the Swish Masters Podcast. I'm your co-host, QtheGuru.
Your co-host, Zay, the executive producer. What up, Q? What's happening?
Man, what's up, man? The playoffs is what's up, man.
Getting to the part of the playoffs, man.
Right.
Real
right. So we got the real ones are here in the second round, right? We saw some really good matchups today, honestly. I guess set of game ones. So first on docket, we'll react to those. Again, thanks to you all joining in. Also on the docket for today, we're going to react to the previous series as well. I know we had some predictions. We're going to see who was right, who was wrong, and what do these losses mean for these organizations now, right? We also get into some news around the NBA, such as what exactly is going on with Ben Simmons and the Nets. And we also talk about some injuries, some key injuries, such as Joel Embiid injury from Game 6. So we have definitely a whole lot to get into. Appreciate you all for joining in. But Zay, let's definitely get into the game we just finished watching. I'm sure all you guys are basketball fans as well. I'm sure you're watching this game as well. So the Grizzlies and the Warriors are now going head to head. the Grizzlies are the 2 seed. The Warriors are the 3 seed. So the Warriors are on the road for a playoff game this time. I'm not used to that. I'm so used to the Warriors being at home and everything. But once I turned on game 1, I was like, oh, they're in Memphis. So, yeah. So, of course, it was a very, very close game. The Warriors pulled out the victory. It's like a 1-point win. Zay, your reaction to game 1 and game 1 only?
Man, this was a great start. To see how this is going to be playing out, I think it's going to be a really tough series. Both teams battle down the stretch. Ultimately, Golden State was able to keep their composure after, a crazy removal of Draymond Green early in the game. But overall, I'm just as a basketball player, as a fan, I'm excited about this series, man. I think it's going to be tough. Golden State managed to pull this one off, but it's tough to play in the Grindhouse in Memphis. So shout out to them, and shout out to these young Grizzlies too, though, for staying down and just battling it out. Ultimately, game 1 was a good one. Shout out to the Warriors.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to the Warriors. I did not like that call. That was definitely not grounds for an injection from the game for Draymond Green. I did not agree with that call, and I believe a lot of NBA fans did not agree with the call. Even some of the commentators on the game did not agree with it. But despite Draymond Green being out, who was a huge defensive presence for the Warriors and also a playmaker, but for the Warriors to find a way to win either way, awesome job. Shout out to them. And the Grizzlies were actually up in the 4th. I mean, not in the 4th, but they were up for a little bit. Then they got down. Yeah. And remember last series, they got down a lot in the 4th. It was like the Grizzlies always came back. But this is a different team. The Timberwolves were just I'm going to get to them later. I'm going to save my comments for the Timberwolves for later. Right. But this is a different team. This is not the Timberwolves. That's the main point. This is a championship pedigree team right here. And despite Draymond being out, they showed their grit. I was kind of surprised with the early fouls, and Steve Kerr kept them in. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson had some foul trouble in the beginning as well, but kept them in. I agree with that call. It's you don't just hear that a lot. Normally just go through rotations at that point, but to stick with them, that says a lot about those players and Steve Kerr's trust in them. Ja played really well today.
Yes, sir.
Started the game with 2 threes.
I know. Yeah, the half shot cooking, man. I think that's the next thing he needs is just to develop that consecutive 2 to 3 threes or just jump shots in general, because he's an attacker when it comes to offense. He's going to get to the rim, but being able to knock down those threes when he gets to space is going to be key. So that was good to see. Ja made a lot of good plays, and maybe some decisions down the line he probably could have made better, but overall I was impressed with him. He came out pretty hot with I think the first 8 points of the game, and I don't really feel like they have a solid answer for Ja when it comes to how to contain him. So they're just gonna have to shut down the rest of those guys, but still they pull it off today. So
yeah. The other thing too, shout out to Jaren Jackson Jr. He had a breakout game as well. Got at least a 30 piece. I'm not sure how the amount of points he finished with, but he did at least have 30. He played great in game 1. Last series wasn't so great. I just want to shout him out as well. It looks like injuries are picking up a little bit. Desmond Bane did not seem like himself today. Normally this guy is a sniper, but in my opinion, he was like the best player in round 1 for the Grizzlies, because without Desmond Bane, I don't know if the Grizzlies would be where they are right now. Which is probably why Ja gave him the award, for most improved, because Desmond is definitely deserving of it. But shout out to Jaren Jackson Jr. He had a big game. He had some big blocks in the game as well. But it just wasn't enough. I really think this is an opportunity for the Grizzlies to really win this game. But now you find yourselves already down 0-1 when Draymond was out the game. And you're still at home. Remember, the goal is to win at home.
Yeah.
A lot of people say the playoff starts as soon as one team loses loses at home.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I mean, the Grizzlies rallied, and Desmond Bane has been a big part of it. I wouldn't say he's their best player, but I feel like he's been the most consistent player. I feel like no matter like the game, no matter the intensity, he in that first round series, he was always able to, just keep the pace of the game going for the Grizzlies. He was kind of like the heart of the team, even though I don't feel like he's the best player. I feel like Ja still, like, even though he didn't have the best performance throughout that series, he still was, because of his ability as a playmaker, he drew so much attention that it allowed guys like Bane to easily step into their role. And shout out to Desmond Bane still, like he still elevated his game pretty big for his, this may be his first or second playoff series, but a younger player stepping into, a big role.
Let me clarify real quick. I ain't mean that Desmond Bane is the best player ever on the Grizzlies now. I ain't say that.
Oh, no.
Hold on now. I ain't say that. But I will admit that throughout the whole round one, because Ja was not Ja for like the first half of most of those games. But so I agree with you. Desmond Bane was consistent. And Ja did make some big plays in some of those games, but to me, I think I really do think Desmond Bane was like the best player in round one. I'm not saying he's the best player for round one for the Grizzlies. I'm not saying he's the best player on the Grizzlies like overall, but he was the best player in round one.
Yeah,
like for real. And his play showed that. But let's go ahead and react to another game that happened today. So before the Warriors and Grizzlies played, we also had the Bucks and the Celtics. So quick recap on that game. Remember the Bucks started without Chris Middleton. Still, the Celtics had a long couple days off because they swept the Nets.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You want to bring up old news?
No, it's not old news. They had. I think it could play a role into what happened today. So either way, the Celtics end up losing to the Bucks, and the reason why I brought up the rest, the Celtics did not look like the Celtics to me. There were a lot of, I don't want to say stupid, but like it was a lot of uncharacteristic plays. Jaylen Brown was off. Jason Tatum was not the Jason Tatum we saw dominate the smaller guards in the Nets. And I think a lot of that has to do with the size of the Bucks. This Bucks team is long and athletic, and you have perimeter players that can defend. They can go small and still defend these perimeter players, which the Nets did not have. So, man, it's very interesting. What are your thoughts about the series so far? Well, not series, but like game one so far, because we're going to give our predictions later.
So based on game one, to your point, Q, Bucks are long, athletic, strong dudes that can lock you up on the defensive end. If you look at the Nets versus Celtics series, it was the size advantage was Boston, because you got a 6'3", 6'4" point guard and Marcus Smart, who was also Defensive Player of the Year. You got Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, two long, athletic wings. Al Horford, who's always been a solid rim protector. Daniel Tice brings you another 6'10", 11. And now, flipping that over to Giannis and the Bucks, you got Giannis, who's 7 foot, aggressive, strong, Defensive Player of the Year capability. Brook Lopez, another big 7-footer. Drew Holiday, solid All-NBA defender right there. I mean, they have a much better defensive team to go up against. And you on the other end, for the long haul of this series, you're going to have to be guarding Giannis. Like, I get it. Like, they had to, send troopers to KD because of how skilled he is. But Giannis has the skill level, not quite the same as KD, but he's another 7-footer, and he's a lot more physical. So for like a guy like Tatum, who's going to have to go up against that every single night, bang against Giannis down low, and then try to come back and score, and he's guarding you, he's going to also body you then. It's going to be really tough. So I think that the Celtics will have to make some big adjustments to, I don't know if they can play small or because they're still quick too, but it's going to be interesting. I think, like you said, Tatum didn't have like an explosion like he was pretty much doing all over Brooklyn, and Jaylen Brown didn't have a really good game. Marcus Smart, I think he was dealing with injury. So overall, I think the Bucks will be interesting, to see if they can, see if they fall, honestly, in my opinion. But
yeah, to piggyback off of you, you're right. Marcus Smart was definitely injured throughout in this first game. And again, they had long days off, so that could play a role as to why they weren't, the Celtics. And again, just like we said about the Grizzlies, the main goal is to keep home court. And to lose game 1 already, it's like, no cushion. No cushion to fall on. So, yeah, I believe the Celtics. Yeah, I just think I'm gonna say my predictions for later, but
right.
Yeah, it was really uncharacteristic.
I said mine a second ago.
I want to wait, but like it was really uncharacteristic to see that. But yeah, the Bucks just blew them out. It was really no contest, especially with all of the uncharacteristic shot taking and the defensive lapses, and I just chalked this game up for the Celtics to the fact that they had a long break.
Yeah,
that's why I'm chopping that up too. So
I mean, to me, they didn't really play with a lot of intensity for most of the second half. It was just like, all right, well, we already kind of checked out. We kind of are struggling to get hot and get warmed up in here. So
yeah,
it was pretty much cruise control and not enough intensity. You got to come out strong from the gate with this team. So,
do you think that's because I agree with you? The intensity was not really there. Do you think that's because they're coming off of sweeping like the Nets, which was this championship contender team? Do you think there's like a lull off that?
I think that may have impact on them because they came off like feeling super confident. Oh, we swept the Nets, we swept KD and Kyrie, and it's like they took this long break, and I feel like they feel like, oh, if we can beat KD and Kyrie, we can beat anyone. But not exactly the case when you go up against Giannis, who's always hungry, and his team is on the same type of energy. So I feel like that is where they're at. They're like, oh, we can beat anyone because we already beat KD, right? Which is great. And, KD still, to me, just didn't have a usual series, and I think he started to pick it up late, but you got away with that one. But this is not going to fly. It's not like just because you got this one out of the way that, a lot of people probably count them out. I know I picked the Nets. So they feel like, oh, we beat the odds. We overcame this. Everybody was like thinking we were going to lose. So now they're like, oh, we have ultimate confidence, and didn't really take it as seriously in this game.
Yeah. And again, you did pick the Nets to win. You
I
did.
did.
You did.
More unfortunate for me, but it's okay.
Yeah. and let me give props to the Bucks with this. Drew Holiday really stepped up with because you get an unusual amount of scoring from Chris Middleton. At least 20 some points a game from Chris. Drew really picked that up. And I think going into the series, even some of last series with the Bulls, we were always wondering where would that extra scoring come from, right? You know, Giannis will always do his thing, but Drew really stepped up today, and that says a lot about them. And the difference between this Bucks team and the Nets, the Bucks have a championship coach.
That's one thing.
They definitely have a championship coach, so you're now going against a coach with not as much experience in Steve Nash. So that's another difference.
Yeah,
this coach will make adjustments. So yeah, I'm serious. This coach will. I'm gonna say that Steve Nash did try a lot of different things at the end. I ain't gonna lie, but it's like too late at that point. You wait till that game to try something. No. I wish he obviously tried sooner, and then we probably had a longer series with the Celtics and Nets. But all right, I'm off that.
That's all good, man.
Yeah, I'm off that. All right. All right. So
we'll make adjustments.
Right. Man. So let's go. That being said, let's react to. We saw the video earlier. A lot of teams clinched their way into the second round. We just talked about two of them. Let's talk about the series themselves and talk about these teams and what it means for them. And of course, let's keep talking about the Bucks. You know, they of course beat Chicago 4-1. I believe I was right in my prediction. Remind me, who did you go for? You didn't go for the Bulls, did you?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, we both went for the Bucks.
Sorry, Stoner. I know you're a Bulls fan, but I had to root against them. The Bucks, too much power.
Right. We both agree that the Bucks will overcome. Now, I think I called for a sweep, but I was wrong. Did I call for a sweep? I feel like I called for a sweep. I tend to, I don't know. Either way.
You like to pull out that broom.
Hold on. It's just for like team. All right. So I mean, I should have called it for the Celtics and Nets, but I was wrong. That's the one I should have called it for. But
a lot of us were wrong. A lot of us.
Yeah. So, DeMar DeRozan, in my opinion, did not really step up as I would have liked him to in this series. So. He had a good game here and there, but to really change the narrative on DeMar DeRozan, I wish he was like that MVP candidate, DeMar DeRozan. You know, that's what I wanted to see, but we didn't see that this game.
As far as like Chicago and DeRozan, I think that. He said it himself, in that first game, he shot horribly. You know, horrible percentage from the floor. Then the next game, I think he came back and dropped like 42. So I feel like he showed some flashes of, you know, being able to be that MVP caliber player in the playoffs. But ultimately, even if he were to do, you know, those type of numbers, I don't think it would have made a difference. Because to me, DeRozan had a very great season, and not bad playoffs, but not really enough to be over the top. But the key part about Chicago was that Zach LaVine just, to me, was not a factor in the series enough for them to have a chance. And when you think of Chicago, Lonzo is obviously hurt. Caruso got hurt in the series, I believe, got a concussion. So outside of those four guys, Patrick Williams and Kobe White and these guys don't have enough experience or just depth to be able to beat a team like Milwaukee at the end of the day. But Zach LaVine, I feel like if he were more aggressive as we saw last year or, you know, parts of this season, they would have had a much better chance compared to riding on, you know, DeRozan. And then LaVine missed the last game with the health and safety protocols, so he was out. But overall, I knew the Bucks would win. I don't remember how many games I said, but I know I didn't say a sweep.
Yeah, I think you said a sweep. Yeah, good analysis. I agree with that. Zach LaVine did not really show up. He wasn't an all-star, Zach LaVine.
And I like Zach LaVine a lot, man. I think that I don't know if I remember like the beginning of the season when it was the pair of those guys getting together, DeRozan and LaVine, how's it going to work? And then they made it work. But it seemed like LaVine, maybe like midway to the end of the season, just sort of diminished a little bit. Or maybe he just, maybe it was due to injuries as well, because he had a couple of times he had to sit out. But you just need Zach LaVine to be just as aggressive. I feel like he was just kind of giving over to DeRozan and let him do his thing. But they really need both of those guys to be dual threat, to be attacking, because that gives them a better chance at the end of the day.
Yeah, and they need to be healthy. So because Lonzo Ball was definitely a huge loss.
Yeah.
No, that's a playmaker and a defender that they could use, and especially when you said Caruso was out again. So they need to be healthy. And if you're the Bulls, I think you can be encouraged for the most part. Your team made the playoffs. Chicago really made some noise this season, which is great for all NBA fans, because this is an historic franchise and a keystone franchise for the NBA. So it's always great seeing them do well. And I think you say this is a good season overall. I don't think it was a flop. You're going against the Bucks, who are the reigning champions right now. And at least you got a game. So you already did better than the Nets. So you can shout out for that. Like, you did better than the Nets this season. So good job. But for real, Chicago's going to do well. If they get healthy, I'm sure they can continue to progress.
Oh, yeah. And we'll have to see what happens, but they'll be back. I think they'll be back in the playoffs again next year, too.
Yeah, for sure. And shout out to the Bucks for winning despite, because we all thought with the injury to Chris Middleton that it will expose something, but they got scoring from multiple people. They really did. Then Grayson Allen stepped up huge in one of those games as well. So, yeah, shout out to the
playoffs.
Yeah. Shout out to the Bucks. They're doing Bucks things. But yeah, if you're the Bulls, you're a Bulls fan, don't be discouraged. You're good. You're good. Perfectly fine. All right, let's get into the next team. We also had a series with the Heat and the Hawks. I definitely called this one be a sweep. I remember this one. I thought this would be a sweep. But yeah, of course he's ready. But
okay for this one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. So recap the series. He beat the Hawks 4-1. Beat them in 5 games. So you're the resident Heat fan. I'll let you have at it first. Reaction to the series.
Told you, man. 4-1. I had to give Ice Trey 1. He got his 1, and I like what we were able to do to him in the playoffs. Shout out to Coach Spo. Always got an elite plan. I was watching the clip earlier that we played, and just inspired. You know what I mean? With how I'm seeing him run down the court talking about defense, deny. Like, that's the type of like environment that Miami is, you know, in basketball wise, and they got it done. Even though we missed Kyle and Jimmy in that last game, and Kyle in the game before that, we got it done. So I was glad to see my guy Victor Oladipo back out doing his thing, stepping in. You know, no matter what, you know, you stay ready. Next man up is the mentality for the playoffs. So, and to see him like just being him again, I'm glad to see it. So, shout out to my Heat. Let's get it done. Let's keep going.
Yeah. Shout out to your Heat. But I want to bring attention to something real quick. Trae Young is such a liability defensively.
Yeah.
I mean, you ain't say. I mean, the Heat won without Jimmy Butler on the floor. Victor Oladipo stepped up, so shout out to him. Shout out to him. Shout out to Tyler.
Yeah.
So they really stepped up in Jimmy's absence. But I predicted the Hawks to lose, but Trae has some really ice cold games this series, and this is a defensive team in the Heat, so I get that. I do. But I feel like a lot of people, all NBA teams are going to come out soon. I do not want to see Trae Young on that list. But I feel like he's going to be on the list based on what a lot of these media people are saying. I don't think he's a top 15. I don't think he's a top 15 player. Not all NBA is like who are the best players that year. I don't think Trae should be on that list, man.
So, all right, quick question. Yeah. Did you think prior to this series and this playoff,
all right.
Did you think he was top 15 then?
Good question. Good question. All right. So, all right. In total, you got 3 All NBA teams, 2 positions for guards. So you got six guards. All right. I'd rather see Steph. I'm trying to count out, see if I'm good.
Okay.
See if we agree. Steph, Ja. Let me see. DeMar. Then DeMar's forward, so he don't count.
I mean, he plays both, but
I don't know where they'll put him, but I feel like they'll probably put him forward. So
yeah,
I'll probably
give him 3.
I'll probably keep him off. All right. Shoot, I can't say Kyrie. You play enough games. I got to think on the top of my head here. But man,
6 best guards right this year.
Let me think. Give me some names, man. I'm blanking right now.
CJ McCollum.
Yep. But should he be All NBA this year? He played well. I keep naming some more.
Devin Booker.
Yep, for
Chris
sure.
Paul.
Chris Paul for sure. That's 4.
So you need 2 more.
I'm not giving Donovan.
Jaylen Brown is technically a 2 guard.
Who you say?
Jaylen Brown.
He did have a good. I don't know All NBA though. I don't know. Maybe he's an option. Who else?
I
gotta think. Not Clay.
Someone who's usually there, James Harden, but I wouldn't say.
I wouldn't give it to James Harden this year.
Let's go back to the West End. Let's say
he could. So based on that, he could potentially get in. I'm wrong because I can't think of anybody else. Because Damian Lillard didn't play the season. Jamal Murray was out the whole season. Like there's some key players that could have had a good season. Russell Westbrook seasons was a dud. You had just a lot of different players. So you probably could get in now that I think about it. So, dang, you get something wrong. You got me right there.
I mean,
he better be 3rd team. I'll say that. He better not be 1st or 2nd. He better be 3rd team. All in me. Like,
no, you go to the end of the bench, Trae. You up here. You don't start
3rd team. But man, it's just because honestly, you're right. Before the season, the stats stand out. Yeah. But you gotta remember the Hawks were great in the. Wait, was it the bubble? Or was it just?
It was just last season.
It was last season, right? Yeah. So
they had that big turnaround after Nate McMillan took over as head coach. Had a huge mid-season turnaround where they went from like 10th to a mid-seeded playoff team.
Yeah, and to go
to the finals.
Right, and to go from that to they're really trading at the bottom half of the Eastern Conference for a minute.
Yeah,
and they started trending upwards. And again, there are some injuries to some teams. Like the Cavaliers, they weren't the Cavs. Yeah, so I just expected more from the Hawks. But I'll give you that one. I can't think of I couldn't think of 6 on top of my head. But I think that was just my reaction to Trae because I was like, man, give me something on offense, man, because you're already going to be getting killed on defense already. So,
right. I think I'm not denying that. I'm not saying he shouldn't be all NBA or anything. I think that he had a great regular season, but he's also going up against a deep defensive Miami team where he's got all attention on him. And I feel like what was the play-in game he had before that? Cleveland?
Yeah.
Okay,
they're injured. They had injuries too, so I expect them to be Cleveland.
There is you just have to be physical with Trey. I feel like is the big thing, because he's only a 6 foot, if that, guard, and if I feel like if you get him out of rhythm early, you have a better chance. And I feel like that's what they did. They kind of trapped him and shrunk the floor for him, because he if he gets in the lane, he's got the floater, and just making sure they denied him a lot of the time. So, but I mean, I can't deny his stat line, and 73 games this season, he averaged 28 and almost 10 assists. So it's not like and his team did eventually make the playoffs, even though they didn't start the best. I'm not gonna say he's not all the NBA though. I think he can slide in there with that type of stat line at least.
Yeah. I guess you're right about that one. I guess you're right. So I guess we also have to talk about what does this mean for the Hawks. So what do you think? Do you think the Hawks had a successful season?
No. I wouldn't. This wouldn't cause me to be like, oh, I need to pull the plug and get a new coach or anything like that. I think that they would have had a better season if it weren't for Collins' injury. I feel like that was a big part of it, and they kind of started off slow, which they did the previous year too. But we saw them go where they went. But if I'm comparison from season to season, you pretty much had the same team, minus Lou Will. So I would just have to count it as not a successful season, but I don't think it's worth blowing them up. And Gumbo thinks the same. He wanted to make an appearance. So,
what's up, Gumbo? But looking at these clips right here, I forgot DeAndre Hunter had a breakout game that game.
Yeah.
He brought him back almost by himself. So I was impressed with him.
Yeah.
So I was very impressed with him.
I didn't think he could shoot as well as he was shooting. So
yeah, I knew he was a good shooter, but to pull up like that,
Yeah.
And yeah, this two right here. Trey missed a key free throw. What's up with that? I think that was another reason I'm so upset. I was like, come on, man. I forgot about that for a second. He did miss a free throw playing the game.
Yeah.
But it happens to the best of players. I'm not gonna lie. KD missed a free throw, but I feel like that was on purpose though. And I don't know. Anyway, that's another. Okay. I thought he missed. All right, we'll I guess talk about that. Well, let's talk about it real quick. At the very end, I thought that KD. You remember he was holding it up with Blake Griffin and everybody. It was they were talking it out. So I'm like, okay,
right.
They're probably talking about missing it on purpose. I thought he wanted to miss it on purpose, get the rebound, and potentially make a game-winning play. That's what I thought. So everybody was saying that he missed a free throw. I thought he missed it on purpose.
Yeah.
Am I wrong in thinking that? I thought KD missed that free throw on purpose.
I have to go back and look at it, but
I remember that scene. He was holding up with Blake Griffin for sure. I think somebody else was talking with him, but I thought KD missed that on purpose.
I mean, it's for sure uncharacteristic of him because he's for the most part, a 90% free throw shooter most of the time.
Right, but all of that series was a dud. He was missing free throws in that series. I'm not gonna lie, but in that moment, he was looking like KD in those last couple minutes.
Yeah.
I thought he missed on purpose. That was mine. That's what I thought. But
you may be thinking something else, and I may be jumping the gun a little bit. But when they were talking about, I was watching the game on ESPN. It was Philly and Toronto, and I think in First Take, Stephen A. Smith might have said something that insinuated James Harden was trying to blow the series so the Doc Rivers would be like,
I heard that.
Tony could be higher because that's him and Daryl Morey's guy. And I was like, dang, that's a far reach to go.
Hold on. Hey, if you're trying to call my take as stretching as that, I don't think that's fair. Because he pulled that out from like way back. Stephen A. was so off base with that opinion. Mine's not that fabricated. I think mine's is pretty reasonable. You know, KD.
No, that's fair. It just made me like going free throw mode. My bad.
And you clearly see him hold it up. So, and we seen plays in the NBA before where they hold it up like, bro, Robinson missing. They held it up for a little second.
Yeah.
I remember different plays. I'm a Thunder fan. I remember we were in the playoffs against Houston. Stephen A. was talking with Russ. Russ missing on purpose. Stephen A. got the rebound, passes out to Russ, deep three. We're in the game some more. So like, it happens in the NBA. So,
yeah,
like,
for sure.
I was just saying, but I'm not like not Stephen A. Bro. That was he was reaching.
No, I wasn't saying you were reaching. I just
foul everywhere with Stephen A. Man, like, he was really reaching. I remember when I heard that too, man. I was like, no way.
Yeah. I didn't think you were going that far with it.
Not that far, man. I thought mine was a little bit more reasonable, but for real, the Hawks, I think because they were on the brink of not making the playoffs at all. So shout out to them for even making it.
For sure.
I just wish they won at least one more game. I know I called for the sweep, so it shouldn't matter for me. Like, but still, I think they should have. I think they were capable of winning like another game.
I mean, they very well could have won. What was that? I guess it was Game 4.
One of them.
It was like one of the games at their house, I believe.
Right.
And Miami just happened to go on a run at the end of the game, but I think the Hawks will be fine. They just had a tough year. I feel like with injuries and stuff. Capello was late coming back too. That was a factor because Trey didn't have that type of like lob threat at the basket. So he's got all the attention. John Collins was 100%. DeAndre Hunter surprisingly stepped up, and like I was glad to see some growth from his side. But even Gallinari was like decent for parts of the game, not consistently, but they'll be fine next year, I believe it.
Yeah, I think overall, you can say that the season was a success for them. So yeah, they came back, but I just want to see a little bit more. I want them to go into at least the second round next year, because again, you still lost in the first round after coming off a deep playoff run the year before. So if you're a Hawks fan, you're probably definitely disappointed, at least a little bit. And this too, the Eastern Conference got a lot better this year. Who thought the Cavaliers would be where they are right now? The Hornets had a pretty good year, and they're getting better. So I think you just gotta shout out to these other Eastern Conference teams. And to me, it seems like the Eastern Conference is, man, it's almost, you remember the age old tale, like the West is like the best conference competition wise, but now the East is a beast in my opinion. Now, like it's like you got a whole bunch of really good teams on the come up, and it's getting really competitive in the East. So yeah, I think the Heat are doing great. Shout out to the Heat. Hawks, I think you had a decent season. I wouldn't call it a failure. I think it would be a little disappointing though, based on where you were last year. But that,
I guess I agree with that. I think it's just disappointing in comparison. So
yeah, because we never expected them to go that deep in the playoffs last year, and to not make it out of round one, this definitely seems like, compared to that, it's like, man.
Yeah, you mostly have the same team.
Right.
Yeah.
You do. You're right. You literally have the same team. So
yeah, they didn't have Lou Will, but
right.
It's all good.
Yeah, it's all good. Let's get into another series in the East. Stick with the East. Last series in the East we'll talk about. Sixers and Raptors. the Sixers defeated the Raptors 4-2. I feel like I called this one a sweep too. I don't know. I don't think I was that was I that disrespectful to all these teams? I don't think I called sweeps almost all in the East like that. I don't think I called a sweep like that. I think I gave some of them like one game. But
some of them, but I can't say for sure that you said Toronto.
I don't know if I said yeah. I don't
sure.
remember either. I don't remember, but this series saw the breakout of Tyrese Maxey for at least the first half of the series. He was balling. The last half was kind of like rookie play. I mean, like, you know, he came back to life as regular season Tyrese Maxey. But Joel Embiid was pretty dominant throughout. James Harden was still not James Harden to me until Game 6.
Yeah.
Game 6, I saw some vintage, like, James Harden. Like,
yes.
It was nice to see that James Harden, because it's been a minute. Nice to see you, sir. It's been a while since we last saw you, sir.
Go, Mr. Harden.
But man,
yeah,
he was great.
Yeah, for sure. I think that Toronto battled pretty hard and, you know, put up a heck of a fight at the end, going from 3-0, you know, facing the elimination to, you know, 4-2 games. And it was funny because people were talking about Doc Rivers blowing these leads in the past. So, and Joel was hurt. You know, he's got his thumb issue and now the orbital fracture. But James Harden, you know, came through clutch in that last game. He got separation on the jump on the step back. You know, we talked about that last time. And I was like, man, it looks like he can't even, you know, get his shot off smooth. But he was getting it off that game. So, but I think we both expect Philly to win the series anyway. But I know I said one game, but it forced two. So shout out to Toronto for that.
Yeah, shout out to Toronto. Scotty Barnes was definitely a good player. He was like coming off an injury too. Like,
yeah, he played through his injury.
He did play through his injury. He played through his injury. So again, shout out to a rookie playing through his injury. Well done.
Oh, you're gonna take it there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But man, he played through his injury. We give him props for that. But man, when you have the Sixers look almost unbeatable when you have a dominant Joel Embiid with this James Harden. This Philly team can go far. James Harden like getting the step backs off. It was like he had some legs back because again, it was like he wasn't finishing as we used to see him finish. Like
wasn't finishing, wasn't getting to the line, wasn't making shots.
Right. So it was really nice to see this James Harden. So yeah, this definitely has potential to be like one of the best duos if they like be consistent with it.
If they get healthy and get on the same page, like even more than now, they can be a two-headed monster in the East for a long time. If Harden is able to be bounced back fully from hamstring injuries and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely can. And unfortunately, along with this game, we also saw an injury. I think you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but let's give the people a little bit more insight real quick. So during the game, Joel Embiid suffered an injury. And the injury came at a point in the game where this team is up. I think they're like up 29. 29 points. And Joel Embiid suffered an orbital fracture. And there's an update to his injury now. At first he was ruled out indefinitely with the fracture. But based on recent reports that came out today, he's eyeing a Game 3 return. So Yeah, he's eyeing a Game 3 return based on, and he has to clear concussion protocols as well because he suffered a concussion. So we have to see what that would be like, but that's the update right now. And I just want to talk about the fact, why were they in the game? Why was he in the game? Up 29. It's in the fourth. I think it was like about 5 minutes left, something like that. I would have taken them out. I don't know. The Sixers won the game. I'm glad, but this is another reason why you have to get rid of these series early. It should have been a sweep. That's what I call for. If you swept them, you have to worry about this mess. But you didn't sweep them. But for real though, they should have won. They should have got it done in Game 5 though. For real.
Yeah.
They should have got it done in Game 5.
Yeah, for sure.
At home, and man, so I don't know. Am I wrong with that? Shouldn't Doc have pulled them out? They're up 29.
I mean, ideally, when you're up almost 30 points in the fourth, yeah, like the game is it's late. It's like 5 minutes left in the game. You're probably secure, and you know, ideally, you probably want to take them out, but sometimes that doesn't happen. I remember years ago with Derrick Rose being in the game for his first ACL injury. And I don't think that they leave him in there on purpose. But to be fair, you know, injuries can strike at any time, whether it's beginning or the end of the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, ideally, I wouldn't have him in there. But I don't think that, you know, the rotation was so like to the T at that point that they were like, oh, let's get him out. And they may have been on the way to get him out. It just is like a unfortunate timing, I feel like.
Yeah, it's definitely unfortunate. It's just, I'll say this though. The only reason I can see you keep him in is if you want to keep this more chemistry going. You see, Embiid is having a great game. James is having a great game. So maybe you just want to get some more chemistry with that because, again, James Harden joined late in the season via trade. So maybe just trying to get some more gel, get some more chemistry to flow. I can understand that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Embiid was having a great season, like not missing so many games due to injury. So at some point, you probably want to weigh. There are pros and cons to it. You know, you're in the playoffs. You want to make sure you're as healthy as possible, especially when you're going to a tough round in the next series. You know.
Yeah.
But with a really good team. So I don't know, man. But I think I would have taken him out at that point. It's like fourth quarter, 5 minutes left. I'd rather have Joel Embiid available for the first 2 games than him missing 2. Yeah, so with that being said, let's say Embiid is out, right, indefinitely. How far do you think the Sixers can go without Embiid?
They don't get out of this round without Embiid. It just doesn't happen. And it's not to be biased. They're going up against Miami. And regardless of if it was them or not, your best player has been the engine of the team. If you take Joel out, especially with how Harden has been, Tobias Harris and Tyrese Maxey are going to give you some points, but will they be able to lock it in and secure a win for you consistently on a night-to-night basis? And I don't see that happening. Do I feel like they can win a couple of games? Yeah. Especially if James Harden is what he was in that last game. But who's to say he's not going to go back to concert date James Harden? Because, his shooting has been poor, to say the least, and he hadn't been the same player. So I don't really see them making it further past this round. Maybe still a game or 2 without Embiid. I think if they have Embiid, they can at least go 6 to 7 games for sure. But that also depends on if Joel is able to come out and be Joel with now 2 injuries, with the thumb and the orbital fracture, which I think he had maybe a couple years ago in the playoffs as well. And I may be thinking of this wrong, but that sounds like a pretty scary like injury because he's a big guy. He's gonna get swiped at. He's gonna get fouled. He's gonna get banged. It's gonna be physical, especially like Miami, just regardless of who it is. So that is that may be a decision they want to like consider wisely with the future of the franchise. So, but how bad going through a lot of stuff.
No,
they don't go far without Joel. They don't go out of this round for sure.
Yeah, I don't think they can go far without Joel Embiid. And it really is still Joel Embiid's team. I know we saw one good game from James Harden, but
just one.
Is that going to be consistent? I don't really know. I don't think they can get past the series for sure. We'll make predictions soon, but I don't really think they can go past without Joel Embiid.
Yeah,
it's really hard to see that. So yeah, but I think we both agree. I think we both said we agreed that we would probably take him out at that point, right?
Yeah, ideally you want to have him out, but just real quick before we move on.
Yeah,
with the Embiid being in late in the game, it is a playoff, and like you said, I think you can hinted at the point that coaches might want to just build up some chemistry or see different situations and rotations where I probably don't play Joel with Reed or whoever that the other big is often.
All right.
So maybe especially as the playoffs go on and injuries happen and just need to like rejuvenate and figure out what works for this matchup. The coach might want to see like who how this looks together. So I don't really condemn him for like having him in there, but ideally, you probably want to rest him, especially with Joel having injury history and just general. He's got to carry the load for if you want to go to the finals. He's got to carry it all the way there, and it's just entering the second round.
Yeah, I think it's. I understand. Like that was me thinking like, yeah, they ain't have much time together. They want to build up chemistry, so I can understand that standpoint. But I still think for me, if I was a coach, I'm not a coach, and I'm not really getting on Doc Rivers for his decision. I'm not. It's just like, and again, hindsight is 20/20 in almost every situation. If you know that would happen, of course, I'm sure you probably would have kept him in. But being up 29, it's not like it's with 5 minutes left. I mean, I'll get the guys out. If they make a run, okay, sub them back in. And I think that's the natural course of things. But I know, again, Philly's situation is unique because they just got a superstar caliber player in James Harden late in the season. So you probably just want to keep it going. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, for sure.
It's tough. So yeah, that was all the series in the East. We touched on Celtics and Nets live already right after that game. So if you want to catch that out, it's on the YouTube. So for sure, check that out in the previous audio podcast as well. So yeah, honestly, we could talk about one thing with that from that series, and I hinted at it a little bit earlier, but Ben Simmons was not present at Game 4 at all. I'm being serious right now. He was not present at Game 4.
Yeah.
After eyeing a Game 4 return. Everybody was hearing. He put it out there. Somebody from Nets camp put it out there that he's eyeing Game 4. He's doing good. He's working well in his workouts. He's back pain free. He was back pain free for a good minute. Workouts were going well. He was eyeing a Game 4 return. And then we get the news that he's not going to play Game 4. And not only he's not going to play Game 4, he wasn't going to be at the game. Game 4. We didn't really get into this part when we reacted to the game. We were just more focused on, KD and Kyrie and Celtics, and we were focused on that. We didn't really get a chance to talk much about this Ben Simmons. And apparently Simmons and his agent reportedly met with the front office with Sean Marks, and Sean Marks is the GM of the Nets, and he talked about the whole situation that Ben Simmons is experiencing. He's still experiencing physical and mental issues. That's preventing him from playing. So I'll let you go first, man. What you think about all that, man?
Was I surprised that he didn't play? Not at all. I didn't expect him to play either. Was I expecting him to be at the game? Yeah, I would have. You would think it's still, even though the series is over, obviously, but you would want your guys to be there at least. That's what I think. So for him to not be there, it's like, dang, dude. Like, not only did you not play all year, you couldn't even be here on the bench. And you're supposed to be probably one of our better players when you come back, because all-star level talent. But dang, he missed the whole game. Not like he, I don't know if he could be there for the rest of the games. Why couldn't he be there for the last one? That's just kind of a bad look as a teammate.
Man, Alright, so I want to be accurate with this report. So they discussed the mental block.
Okay.
With that, that's why I want to make sure I got this. He's still suffering from a mental block. That's what he told them. That causes stress, and it's possibly triggered the back injury that kept him out for the postseason. That's what was reported. So Simmons made himself unavailable on Sunday for Game 4, which reportedly caused triggered frustration and disheartenment throughout the entire organization. Of course, I get that. If you're the Nets, you're frustrated.
Yeah.
People that are involved are exasperated by the saga, because that is what it is. This is Byron Windhorst. I got the feeling yesterday that it was like the waving of a white flag. So Simmons, this last tidbit, who still has 3 years left on his contract and $114 million left on the contract, did not play a game. He filed grievances. I think people forget this part. He filed grievances with the 76ers as well.
Yeah.
And these grievances were filed so, get his money. Because remember, the Sixers stopped paying him for a minute. Remember? To try to get him to show up. This was before we learned that it was actually mental health issues now. I'm an advocate for therapy and any type of therapy.
Absolutely.
We're advocates for that at the Swish Masters. We don't think mental health is a joke. Mental health is definitely serious. This is the other part real quick. Before I finish, last thing. So, all right. So he's dating. He has a fiance, whatever. I'm all for that. That's cool. He's seen walking with her and a dog strolling through New York City.
On the game day?
No. This is after the fact.
Okay.
This is after the fact. And Shaq said this himself too. I'm gonna say what Shaq said real quick too. So I'm going. Shaq said, "You shouldn't be walking if your back hurt." That's what Shaq said. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what Shaq himself said. And he was so disappointed. He said worse things than what I'm gonna say today. On Inside
I was watching Inside NBA.
He called him some. I mean, and I get it. I get it. But
yeah,
man, this is such a bad look, man. The Nets already going through with the Kyrie stuff. Now you got another player in Ben Simmons. You got one player not showing up to work. Now you got another one not playing at all. It is a tough situation if you're the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh,
to not even if it's mental, but that's the thing though. We thought he was away from that with the Sixers. We thought that. I'm not sure. I'm not a therapist in that, but we thought as fans it was because of what was going on in Philly. He probably didn't feel supported in Philly. The Philly fans were probably not there, but to get to this point and to still not play, I just wonder what the mental block is, because you're in another situation now with the Brooklyn Nets. You're playing with KD, who's arguably one of the best players in today's game. You're also in a totally different city. You're in New York City.
Yeah.
New York, the Mecca.
Man.
New York. And there's still a mental block.
Yes, do or die.
Right. And it's still a mental block.
Yeah.
And man, and then to see you, I mean, you express that you have back pain, but you're doing this. I mean, I hope he's getting the help. But again, I thought we were doing that this season as well. I thought he was meeting with, and I know mental health is a journey as well, but I guess we thought we'd see some type of improvement. Because y'all, remember, this has been an entire year. He by the time next season starts, he wouldn't play basketball for a whole year and some change. Yeah. This is bad, and we don't know how he looks as a basketball player. Besides that one time he told people to record this, and he did like a dunk or something, right? I think I remember that video. That's the one time I seen him. It wasn't like and really athletic dunk either. It was like barely a rim grazer. But I don't know how Ben Simmons looks as a basketball player. But I just hope that his mental health is to a place where he can actually play. But the situation has definitely, as reported by Brian Windhorst, exasperated the organization. If I'm the Nets, what do you think Ben Simmons' trade value is right now?
None, because you got what you wanted in the trade. It's a bad look, and I'm not, like you said before, we are advocates of protecting your mental health. For getting help, there's nothing wrong with that, and I support it. I do it, embrace it, but it just, and everyone's journey is different. But when it comes to Ben Simmons, there are so many just flags on the play because of how the whole Philly situation happened. He went to practice, phone was in his pocket, he got kicked out. All right, that's kind of like, all right, I get it. But then they offer you treatment and help and doctors, and you refuse it. And, you start getting, it just looks weird. You get fined, and then you're trying to get your money back, because at this point, why not? You get traded. All right, you hurt your back. Back is kind of hard to figure out. And you already got a mental health, outage that for a reason as you've been out. But now it's like, say you're coming back, you're not coming back. We see you, walking, living your life like it's golden, walking down the streets of New York. So I'm sure as a fan, as a Brooklyn, New York basketball fan, I'm like, oh man, you're hanging with us, but you I don't know. But I mean, to be fair, you have to walk to wherever you have to go. But I'm sure he could have, if he had something to do, if he's just going for a stroll, it's like, all right, it's just a bad look, man. I'm not surprised he didn't play. If anything, I expect him to play next year. But I think I had just pretty much checked out on Ben Simmons playing. Once he got traded to Brooklyn and didn't play, I was like, oh, he's not going to he's probably just not going to be in this season. If he does, it'll be very, very last minute. I don't know, man. But yeah, I would not want to trade for Ben Simmons. And Brooklyn's already in a, like you said, situation. Kyrie, I don't know. I think the organization might be shook up after this season, man. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah. And do you remember before that draft with when Ben Simmons went number 1 overall, there were reports about his motivation and desire.
Oh yeah.
You remember those? Do you remember those reports?
Yeah. I remember that.
And I was making sure I wasn't. I just made sure those were different reports.
Yeah.
And now it's like, are we seeing that here? I'm just wondering, is this a fruit of that? Because it seems like we're just trying to figure out, is there a passion to play? Is there really a desire to play? I don't know. And it'll be interesting to see what the CBA would be, because Stephen A. also had a very good point.
Yeah.
A very good point. I hope this doesn't bring down, like, different things for the players. But this is definitely really bad.
Yeah.
This is really bad. I just wonder how Ben Simmons has looked around the league by his fellow peers.
I think that this is the most important part of his career, is just to get back on the court. If you don't play as an all-star level, or play, just get out here and show us that you want to be earning this $100 million contract that you have, that you're collecting, and that should like relieve some of it. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm rooting for the guy, but he just looks very bad. I don't know his situation completely, but it's very bad when your motivation as an NBA player who's not only, not just any average NBA player, but a potential, I say potential now, but superstar in this league, a very, highly accredited player at a young age, earning that type of like box office money. You want to, at the very least, show that you want to play. Get out there and play. That's the least he can do.
Yeah.
I don't know where it goes from there though, but just get out on the court.
Yeah. If you're in the Nets, you kind of don't have any choice but to keep him and just help him through the process. You really have no choice. Make sure you have a therapist to help him, maybe a sports psychologist as well to help him. Physical therapy as well for his back. Get that situated. And I feel like he needs some good PR right now. So he needs to, whatever you're working on, if you go into the lab this summer, show the people your progress. I know the Nets put some things out before, but now it's like you need to show us again. So put some good vibes out there, showing people your hard work, and hopefully we see him in the beginning of next season. Lord forbid, if he's still not ready next season, I don't know what's gonna happen, and it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad for the Nets and for NBA players. Hopefully he gets better, man. To the point where he can get on the court. So we'll see when training camp rolls around. We'll see. We'll hear reports of if he's participating or how his progress is going. But yeah, get some good PR out there. Don't let fans see some things other than you taking a stroll through New York. Let us see you.
Or better yet, just don't share it. Just do the work.
Good point. Don't go silent.
Don't even. Yeah. Just. Sometimes you have to clear the social media. Go on the social media fast. Like, try to stay out of it. And like you said, if you do give them good pictures into your work, like at the least, like just try to, if you get in the media, make sure it's like when you're on the court practicing, working out, trying to show that you're doing the work. But other than that,
he doesn't even need to be on it. Let someone else take care of the social media for him. Like someone else can do that for you. Somebody else can manage your social media. You don't look at anything because again that can affect your mental. So just do the work, keep focusing on what you need to focus on. Have someone else manage get some good PR out there for you. But man, this is not a good look. It's not good. It's not good. I don't like it. I do not like it, man.
You don't like it for him, or you don't like it for the Nets?
I don't like.
Or you don't like it for basketball?
All of it.
Okay.
All of it. I don't like it. I don't like it. This is bad.
Oh man.
This is bad, but man, we both hope he gets better though, man. But yeah. Nets are stuck. So, yep. So let's we're gonna take a little break here. When we come back, we're gonna hit you guys with our predictions for the second round with the semifinals. Give you our predictions and where we think the series will go. We'll be back in 5. Appreciate y'all.
See you in a minute.
For sure.
Luka Doncic is coming in here determined to get to the second round for the first time in his career. Obviously, he's got a prime opportunity.
If there is a young group that has potential to close out the series on the road, it is this Memphis Grizzlies squad. They have no conscience, they have no feelings, so they got the utmost confidence that they can do it.
Oh, it's game 6. Big closeout game today. Most important game of the series.
What's at stake is the opportunity to close the series out. Anytime you have an opportunity to finish a team, you try and handle your business.
Your business.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Come on, boy.
One possession at a time. Play the right way. Do everything you can defensively. Whatever happens, play the right way on the offensive end. That's what we've done all season long.
Payne steps back. Oh, Desmond Payne lighting it up. Edwards has it.
Only 20 years old. He's got 20 points here in the first half of the biggest game of his young NBA career.
Grizzlies trail by 3. 52-49. Minnesota on top. Heading to the second half.
Here's the deal, right? Good looks. Understand, rhythm shots, great plays.
Out to Luka Gobert, runs at it. Luka got to the rim and scores. Mitchell, cross, again. Oh, that's creative. Donovan Mitchell.
Crowd on their feet. And the Jazz lead by 12 in a must-win Game 6 of the half.
We got the great news about an hour ago that Devin Booker would be playing tonight, just 9 days after he strained the right hamstring.
Booker puts up a jumper and knocks it down. Devin Booker, welcome back.
It's McCollum. Oh, he's got Bridges, and this is a tough matchup for McCollum. But he's got it to go! Wow.
The Pelicans, for the first time in this series, lead at the half. And you do it by 10.
Our urgency's got to be more. It's not supposed to be easy. But how are we going to respond one play after another? Find our best basketball right now.
We head to the fourth with Minnesota on top. 84-74.
Back out to Brooks. Dylan Brooks tries a three. It's good.
Morant at McLaughlin, into the lane, and McDaniels hangs, scoops and scores. A wild layup for John Morant.
Clark inside, the pass to Jackson, lays it up and in.
Final tonight, Grizzlies win, and they advance to the second round to date with the Golden State Warriors.
Come on, let's go. Win the time. Let's go.
Doncic stepping back over Gobert. He hits. Oh, does he ever live for that moment? Doncic, left corner, Brunson over Bogdanovich, scores it! And the Mavericks back in front. 4.3 seconds remaining. The Mavericks 98, the Jazz 96. Here we go. He looks. They're trying to get Bogdanovich. They did. Oh, what a play they ran for. Shot fake. He shoots the three. It's short. No good. Rebound, Dennis Smith. Game over. And the Mavericks are through to the second round of the playoffs for the first time since 2011.
Come on, that's time. Let's go.
It's all Chris Paul is a flamethrower. 10 of 10. He cannot be stopped. He has gone mad.
Unbelievable.
Paul dancing, driving, shooting, scoring. Paul. 14 of 14.
And that will do it. Round one is done in New Orleans. It wasn't easy, but the Suns win.
See the respect and love that Monty Williams and Willie Green have for one another. I love the tears. I love the raw emotions by Coach Willie Green. That's what it's about. And look at these Phoenix Suns. He was on their bench in the finals a year ago. And the respect.
Man, you have no clue, man. How emotional every game here been. Willie being my brother, somebody I talk to about everything. It's the reason why he's the coach here. You know what I mean? It ain't been this much energy here in a long time, and I'm just glad we got the win.
Yes, sir. Great win. Great series. Battle. This is what we do. We grind everything out. We get it right.
I told y'all. Hey, I was saving it. Let's get it, man. Back to the ill. Back. Good job, guys.
It's happiness, man. I think we worked really hard to get here, and I'm just happy to get past first round, and we gotta celebrate today and just get ready for Phoenix.
Guys, help them out a bit. On to the next round.
Chris, you're the first person in NBA history to go perfect from the field. 14 for 14. Bring it in, guys.
Together! 1, 2, 3. Together!
Welcome back to Swish Masters Podcast. Co-host QtheGuru.
Co-host Zay, the Xzequtive producer here.
Yep. So, Zay, we saw a lot of drama in that first round. We reacted to some of the series in the East. We're going to react to some of the things in the West while also talking about our predictions for the second round. Let's go ahead and get to it real quick. Let's go ahead and first start with the East. We talked about this team a little bit earlier today. So this is what happened. So the Bucks actually won game 1. Yeah, the Bucks won game 1. But yeah, we have a lot to say about the Celtics, but man, it's a lot to say. But you go first, man. What are your thoughts about round 1?
I think we caught it like the end of the game live with the first round Celtics Nets matchup, and I think we both were the same way. We just couldn't believe they really got swept.
Yep.
You have one of the best players in the world and Kevin Durant. Spectacular superstar talent and Kyrie, and they just both fizzled out at the end, and Boston was dominant. Really, just we started off the second half of the podcast just laughing at the fact that we just watched them get swept, like a good 60 seconds just straight laughing. So that's still like, how does that happen? But the Celtics play great defense, and this one's going to be tough though. This is. I feel like what Boston was to Brooklyn, Milwaukee is to Boston, if that makes sense, because they're the more sizable team.
Yeah.
I feel like they have a little more chemistry in their rotation because these guys have been playing together and they just won a championship together for the most part. You got another factor in, like, obviously Giannis is going to be Giannis. Even though Middleton is out, Drew Holiday stepping up. Grayson Allen, to me, has had a spectacular playoffs thus far. And I just don't know if Boston has enough to overcome that, because you can, factor out the Greek Freak, because he pretty much is going to get his, unless he just has an off. You make him, have a tough series. You can double him, but it's going to be hard to stop them. And Tatum and Brown struggled today. I don't see that happen every game, but if I had to say, I'm going to go Bucks in 6. I'm going to give the Celtics 2. If everyone is healthy, because Marcus Smart had that injury, but Bucks in 6 for sure.
Okay. Bucks in 6. I see. All right. Well, yeah, it was very uncharacteristic to see the Celtics like that today. Just all the defensive mistakes, the turnovers. My goodness, the turnovers was terrible. And it's all about matchups in the playoffs. And I think the Bucks really have them beat. The only thing that the Celtics can do is, one, get healthy, because Marcus Smart was banged up. He needs to get healthier. Jaylen Brown was dealing with something as well today. He needs to get healthier as well. They need to get healthier, and all you can do really, since Chris Middleton is out, try to take advantage of that. Do the classic move, make a wall, build a wall for Giannis. Hopefully make him have an off game. But the thing about the Bucks is they've seen that defense a lot. And the other thing too, Giannis is better now. Giannis is actually shooting better from the 3 in the mid range. He pulled off a little step back move today. So I mean, Giannis is definitely a better player for that. He can definitely like pass his way out of it or score offensively through that. So I think Ime Udoka is a good defensive mind. Like, we've never seen defense on KD like that before. I'm looking forward to see how he'll adjust to the Bucks and see what defense he puts out there. Before this game, the Celtics were definitely, to me, one of the best teams in the East, and we'll really see what they're made of in this round. It's tough to go back to back. In one round, the first round going against KD, who is one of the best players in the world by a lot of people, and now in the second round going against Giannis, who a lot of people consider to be one of the best players in the NBA. So it's a tough first 2 rounds for the Celtics. They're having like the worst luck of the draw, honestly, because I believe the Celtics can beat almost every other team in the East and be very competitive. But I'm gonna go with you. I think it's gonna be Bucks in 6. That's my first thought of the series. That's what I thought of watching the game today. I kept thinking, 6. I can see it coming down to 6 games. I give Boston 2. I was thinking they'll win at home, but I still believe they'll win 2. Yeah. So that means they'll most likely steal a game.
Possible.
Yeah, it's possible still a game. So I'm going Bucks in 6. Giannis is definitely the best player in the world to me right now. He's earned that title. He's one of the best players remaining in the playoffs, if not the best player remaining in the playoffs. And I guess you all have to ask. I saw today they had Al Horford on them. That's the other thing. Who can you put on Giannis?
That's tough. That's a.
I know Jason Tatum is a better defender now, and I don't know. I'll say the same thing with KD. It's gonna take a team to try to limit Giannis. It's not gonna be just one person. Mm-mm. So we'll see. It just depends what they can do as a defensive team, but I definitely give the Bucks all the credit until already steal a game already. So
for sure.
Yeah, still. Yeah, what you thinking?
Who's your? Just my own curiosity. Who's like your favorite active player right now?
My favorite active player, to in the playoffs or like overall?
Overall and playoffs.
Okay, overall, I'm still. I know, although it seems like blasphemous to say it now, I still like Russell Westbrook.
Yeah,
I do. So he's always gonna be one of my favorites. So I think this is your question. Are you trying to ask me who I think is the best player? Or is your favorite player? Favorite player?
That's your favorite player to watch in the NBA right now. I mean, I figured Westbrook. I figured Westbrook.
Yeah, I'm
sure.
always gonna be because my OKC ties. Can't forget Westbrook. But I love watching Giannis play. I love his humble mindset. He's definitely one of my favorite players to watch as well. There's a lot of players I like to watch, man. Ja is one of the most exciting players to watch as well. His athleticism. And Jason Tatum is becoming one of my more favorite players to watch too. It's tough to say favorite because favorite means one, but I really do enjoy watching these players play.
Yeah.
For real. So there's a lot of players I really like to see play. But players I root for personally, I honestly do root for Giannis because of his humble mindset, honestly. So if I had to say someone, I would say him. And of course, I hope Russell gets it together. I will always root for Russ, just because of what he did in OKC. So yeah, but right now, honestly, so I would say Giannis.
Okay.
For sure. Giannis. So wait, so you know I was gonna go with that, huh?
I figured.
Yeah, man, I like Giannis, man. I like Giannis.
Yeah, me too. I like Giannis a lot too, bro.
So how about you? What would be?
I mean, he didn't really play a lot this year, but I love watching Dame.
True.
Dame just has a different mindset that I like to see every night. Giannis, of course, just a crazy monster to watch.
Yeah.
Go to work every single night.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you. A lot of players. That's my favorite all-time players, U8, but not active.
Yeah, I know we do all the time players,
but
yeah.
No, I was just not like
as
far as I'm active. That's what I mean.
Gotcha. I'm surprised you said like Jimmy or somebody from the Heat.
Oh yeah,
Or
I love
Bam.
him. Yeah. I love watching Bam. I think that he is still not even like at his full potential, like nowhere near, because we all know what he can do defensively, but I feel like offensively he can do a lot more than he's trying to right now. So, I love watching my guys. I love how Tyler has developed and being consistent. A lot of guys. I still like Pascal Siakam. He still has a tenacity that he plays with a lot that I enjoy seeing. So, but yeah, I can name a lot of guys too. But
yeah, I can name a lot of players. There's a lot of players I respect in the league and like watching them play. So, there are a few players I just don't like.
You gotta name a couple. You gotta name somebody.
I'm not a fan of Rudy Gobert. I'm not a fan. I like. Listen, I respect you, but it doesn't mean
right.
Just like don't like you. Man, but that's one of the players that came to the top of my head for sure.
Sure. Fair.
How about you? I mean, how about you? It gotta be someone you just don't. I respect him, but I don't. I'm like, man.
I respect Rudy Gobert, but he can be kind of frustrating to watch. Believe it or not, before he came to the Heat, Kyle Lowry, I didn't really.
I remember that.
I still be like, he's on my team though. But he's done fine this year with us. But in the past, I used to hate seeing Kyle Lowry have these great seasons, all-star type seasons, get to the playoffs, and he's just like 4 points per game. And I'm like, man, you are a starter in the all-star game this year, and this is what we get as a postseason tribute. I
remember that.
Yeah, that's like the biggest thing that came to mind. Other than that, I had to look at like actual games and players. I can't really think of anybody in particular right now. Or some. Well, I'll say this: I don't dislike him or whatever, or I don't think there's anything wrong with him as a player. Well, except mindset. Karl Anthony Towns to me.
Good one. Good one.
I don't know if we hadn't talked about.
We'll talk about it in a second, but like, yeah, that's what we can go into that now real quick. We can go ahead and get to it. Like we talked about, we both agree the Bucks in 6. We both agree with that. Let's go and get into it real quick. But to set the topic up, of course, we saw talk about this game a little bit earlier today too. The Grizzlies are going against the Warriors. It's a tight game. Warriors stole game 1. But they earned the win. Despite Draymond being ejected from the game, that we both disagree with, that made no sense. The Warriors still won.
Yeah, they rallied together.
And in the midst of that, let's hit the Grizzlies and the Timberwolves first, since we're talking about that.
Yeah.
So the Grizzlies won that series. They won
6 games.
Yeah. I got it here. They won 6 games, right? 42?
Yep.
Yeah, 142. So so it's got leads us the question, let's react to that and then get into the prediction in a second. So, like, the Timberwolves are so upsetting as a team, man. They made so many mental basketball mistakes. D'Angelo Russell actually had a better game in Game 6. But for most of the series, he was kind of like absent. But he had a decent Game 6.
Yeah.
Karl Anthony Towns is here and there. I'm gonna let you get on that Karl Anthony Towns, man. You go ahead.
So, I remember watching Karl Anthony Towns at Kentucky, right?
Yeah. Being
a post player, dominating, back to the basket, like he was bigger than everyone, dominating, right?
Mm-hmm.
More overall pick. Oh, we see he can do other stuff. He can jump, he can shoot, he can handle. Like, okay, cool. My thing with Karl Anthony Towns in this, and we saw it a lot in the series, is that, hey, you're 7 feet, you can shoot. We get it. And, I'm not saying don't shoot threes. I'm not saying don't shoot jump shots. But you're taking up so much space on the perimeter when you could be posting up these smaller guys, getting down low, drawing fouls, kicking it out, and allow so much more spacing for the Minnesota offense. Whereas you catch the ball in the middle, top of the key, you're trying to post, trying to bang, and it's easier for them to put a smaller guy on you because they can laterally move quicker compared to like banging down low on them. And it's making it harder for you to score, making it harder for your team to like get useful possessions. And I just don't like that like mentality of, oh, let me stand up at the top because I'm the guy. I'm gonna take it and do whatever. I feel like that he could be a lot more consecutive in his play if he just took a few possessions to not be at the top, taking up space. That's my only problem with him. Not as a player. I think he's very skilled, great shooter, and when he wants to, he can. Well, back in the day in Kentucky, he played in the post, but that's my only thing. But with Minnesota, they're a young team. You're just getting back to the playoffs, and the issue is that they would be up 10, 12, 15, 20 points, right? But they don't know how to close. They're just letting up at the end. Memphis came back. Memphis had some of the biggest comebacks I've ever seen in the playoffs in this series. And it's because these guys, they get up, they get comfortable, they take their foot off the gas, and here comes Memphis, and they went and take the game, take the series. So what Minnesota has to do going forward, and I think they can be better. D'Angelo Russell, like you said, showed up in that game. I feel like he had some sparks. He didn't have probably the best series, but I feel like they have to build up their chemistry a little bit more. And Cat and Ant have to figure out alpha and beta, because I feel like when Cat had it going in one of those games I was watching, he was knocking down every single shot, every time he touched the ball, and he shot the ball. It was cash. And then Ant came back in the game late, and he was taking shots, missed, gets another ISO, misses, turn the ball over. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, all right, why would you? I get it. Like he's great. He had a great first playoffs as well. But when you got this guy who is hot and he's, you're for the most part winning the game, and then you bring the other guy in, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna take over now. It's like, why? Because you mess up the flow of the offense. He's already got it going, and then why would I go away from what's working? And I feel like that's just young mistakes that they really have to patch up. But overall, they'll be better with the experience. Just same with Memphis. I think that Memphis made some mistakes down the line in today's game, but I think they have potential to win the series. And I know it's the Warriors. I know how great they are, and this is a hard one for me to pick, but I actually am rooting for Memphis in this series. Okay. And if they don't win it, it's fine. But I'm rooting for them. I want them to do this because I like the grind and the energy they play with. Golden State is, as we know, they are who they are. They are Megatron, but I'm going to go Memphis, and I'm going to go Memphis at 7. I think this is going to come down to the very end. Regardless of who wins it, I think this is a 7-game series for sure. And I hope Memphis takes it, bro. I just like the way they play. They just have to get experience. That's all they're lacking. And I feel like they matched up pretty well for the most part in this game. Just have to, execute. Especially when you get Draymond out the game in the second quarter. So that'll be better.
Yeah, that call was terrible. Yeah. I agree with you. I agree with a lot of what you said. You see all this talking that was going on in the game? All the smack talk.
Yeah.
You got to be able to put action behind your words. I agree. They do need to figure out who is the alpha. Okay, because a lot of times it was Anthony Edwards taking those shots in the end of the games. Mm-hmm. And I'll say this too. Maybe part of it is personality. Because you remember that one game in the series, Cat only shot like how many shots? Like 9. It was something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it's that. Is it coaching scheme? Is it the coach? Is it mindset from Cat? Is it? I don't know what it is, but they need to figure out exactly how they want to play. How do you want to play? Like, what is your scheme here? How are you playing? They're not necessarily going inside out. Sometimes a lot of their shots are just perimeter and bad shots, terrible shots. There were so many terrible shots in that game, in the series, and that's how Memphis comes back because of all the bad shots you're taking. Just throwing it up. There was one shot late in Game 6. Cat took deep perimeter. There's a whole bunch of time left on the clock. I'm like, man, you can't get a better shot.
Early in the shot clock.
Early in the shot clock, yes. Yeah. I'm like, you're trying to let them come back. They just need experience. I'm glad they got some experience in the playoffs. So I can't say the season was a failure at all if you're a Timberwolves fan. But Pat Beverly too, doing all this talking and missing the corner 3 wide open. Just don't talk, man. Let your action show up for you. Like, they had plenty of opportunities to win the series. Like to get some. I'm serious. The Wolves had a chance to win this series.
I mean, honestly, Memphis is good, but the Timberwolves beat themselves.
They did.
They made the mental mistakes, and it's partially being young, but also acting like they haven't been there, which they haven't. But what I'm trying to say is that even if you are a regular playoff team, you don't get there. You don't get there and act like you've been there before. You know what I mean? You don't get there and act like, oh, we here now. Like New York stand up. You know what I mean? Like last year with the Knicks and this year, they just suck. But you got to take the mindset of, oh, we got to come out here and play our hardest. I feel like I said, they just mentally checked out and they're like, oh, we up, we good. Oh, we made the playoffs. Oh, let's celebrate. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with celebrating. At the same time, don't forget why you got here. Don't forget what you did to get here. And I feel like the mental aspect of it isn't there yet, but they'll get there. And 2, like you said, they don't have a clue of what they're doing on offense, really, because it's like, all right, D'Angelo gets the ball, let's run a couple picks with Vanderbilt, up nothing. All right, I'm going to get all the Cat. He's going to hold the ball. He's going to try to drive. He's going to pass it back out. Oh, Ant's going to dance, ISO, get a step back jumper, side jumper, whatever. And it's like, all right, these guys are talented, but they could be better if they just figure out what is the offense here. What are we doing? We're going 4-1. We're doing floppy flex, but what's the setup? Because otherwise they're just out there.
Yeah, and a lot of times just a lot of times it just feels like they are just out there. doing whatever. So I don't know, is that on the coach? And then sometimes coaches try to enforce things, and sometimes it's on the players for like trying to enforce it. But I got to give some blame to the coach as well. If you see your team messing up, call a timeout. If you see this other team making a big run that the Grizzlies did, call a timeout, kill the momentum, and get your team back into place. Like, some of this does fall on him. He called some good plays out of timeout, though. I'll give him that. He called some good plays out of timeout sometimes. In Game 6 he did, for sure. But otherwise, I wonder if coaching is an issue. I don't know, but I give him props for getting to this position to even be in the playoffs. I give them props for that. It's just, they really beat themselves. I've never seen a team do this to themselves. They're up. They lose they lost every fourth quarter in this series. It makes no sense to have this lead and to lose it. And it's all because of them. Their bad shot taking and the turnovers. And man, but overall, they have potential to be a lot better. Carter Towns in year 7. I think he's about to go to year 8. I think we all expected Cat to be in a different place by now. He should be an all-star center every year. He should have been like an all-NBA talent by now, because he had that potential. He still has that potential. To me, he does. But you have a guy who has a good inside game, and I agree with you. He should do a little bit more on the post and on the block. He's clearly one of the better shooters as a big man.
Yeah.
But don't rely on that. Joel Embiid, a couple seasons ago, he kept doing that too. He kept preferring to face up. But this year, he was an MVP candidate because he was dominant both inside and out.
Yeah.
Cat needs to do that now, to be a little bit more dominant on the inside. And don't talk. Let your game do the talking for you. And because of you talking, you got Ja talking. And you see the tweet Ja put out after they won. It was like a bear. It was like a grizzly chasing down a wolf. Like, come on. I was like, he had that ready. He had to have that ready.
NBA Twitter is elite, because these dudes, it's like, years ago, like maybe even like early 2010s, it wasn't like this. It was like, we were seeing KD hit with the burner accounts early on. It was like, right. But now everyone's on Twitter. Like, you see Chris Paul after the game, Devin Booker, all these dudes. Like, John Morant, follow him on Twitter. Like, that dude, he keeps, like, for real, he keeps all the receipts.
He does.
Everything. He's ready to, like, reply to everything. He purposely held stuff back just so he could post after they won the series. Like that, right. A level of petty.
In the post-game talk as well, he's not afraid to talk about it either. Like,
they said they run up the chimney. They went up the chimney. They went up the chimney. I'm like, man, this is a different era, bro. It's funny. I love watching all this stuff, man. It's entertaining.
And hopefully that's how we get some rivalries back here in the NBA, man. Just keep. I love it, honestly, but don't do the talking after you win one game, doing all that talking.
And they gotta come out. We're in Minnesota now.
And you lost at home. So
in your house.
And they were good most of that game. I was very impressed with the Wolves for most of the game. And it was like, oh, here we go. Bad shots after bad shot. And Anthony Edwards, I will say this, he did put the onus on him. Like you said, Cat was having a great game, then Ant comes back in and just shooting and missing. He put the blame on himself for not passing. And
it's a young player's mistake, because
young player's mistake.
I feel like with him especially, he has that type of confidence where he's like, oh, I'm the best in the world. He thinks that to himself, type dude. And he can do it. It's just that, the best player in the world doesn't have to take every single shot in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Especially when, you're learning and you got another guy that's got it. going. He's all-star.
Yeah, remember he had lapse on defense too in Game 5, where how Ja got that almost uncontested layup. It was a very late contest, but he tried to steal the ball on the inbound. No, I saw that. I was like, no, stay in front, and that's just a young mistake.
It's young mistake.
Young mistake. That's all you have to chalk that up to. I was like, man, why would you try that? Let your man wide open for the inbound play and just stay in front. Ja's not the best shooter. Stay in front. But man, yeah. So, it's tough. Hopefully, the Timberwolves will come back and be better. But back to this, to the series, you said you give the.
I'm going Grizzlies in 7, and it's not because
Grizzlies in 7. You sure?
I would like to see the Grizzlies win. Do I think either of you? But I'm rooting for them, so I'm gonna say the Grizzlies.
Wow.
Even though I know what the Warriors can do, I know how crazy it sounds, but I just want to see Memphis pull this out. I want to shake it up now. I know what the Warriors are, but I want this to be. I want to make it interesting.
And the Warriors won Game 1 today. You still saying,
I know.
And you still saying Grizzlies go there.
I believe in Ja, man. I know they want the smoke, so this is gonna be a test. And if this works out, then this team is gonna elevate for sure. But I love this young team, man, and that's the only weakness that they have. It's not really a weakness except for certain times in the game. They're youth, they're young. That's about it. So I don't know. I feel good about them. I wanna see them go forward. I'm gonna say that they can get it in 7 games.
Okay. All right. So. All right. Before I give my take on it, I hear you. That's how we need to talk about the series before with the Warriors and they went against the Pelicans, right?
Right.
So based on that series, how do you feel about the Pelicans? How do you feel about the Pelicans? Before I give my take on the prediction.
I'm very impressed with how they turned their season around. I thought Willie Green did a great job in his first year as a head coach. B.I., CJ, what's the other kid, the left-handed guy that was guarding Chris Paul? I can't think of his name right now.
Dude, I can't think of his name right now either. I know you're talking about the
Herb Davis. Herb Jones.
Is it? Yeah, Jones. Yeah, I think Herb Jones. Yeah.
I like that the Pelicans play hard this series, man. I think it would have looked a lot different if Phoenix had Devin Booker, but these dudes went out and they competed. I think the pairing of CJ and Brandon Ingram is going to be a good duo for the Pelicans in the future for sure. And I think that next year they're going to be a lot better. Not playing, I think they can be, and especially if they get a certain player back, he's able to play. They could be
okay.
They could be interesting if it all works out that way. But we'll see. But I think we both knew Phoenix was going to win the series, and Chris Paul had one of the most historic games ever to close it out, which was iconic of the point guard to do. So shout out to the Suns. Shout out to the Pels.
Yeah, shout out to the Pels. They played really well. To win 2 games against this team, that was really good. Really good. Granted, Devin Booker was out a few games. They did show a lot of grit. I mean, no one really expected them to come out the series. But to win 2 games, that does say a lot. They do have a lot of potential. You got to shout out David Griffin for finding this talent. All these rookies.
Yeah.
Right. Trey Murphy too, right?
Trey Murphy, shooter.
Yeah. Find all this young talent, and my guy that was getting on CP's nerves a little bit. Can't think of his name right now. But there you go. Yeah, he
you tried to do what CP did in the press conference.
What?
Tried to figure his name.
Oh, you did? No, I ain't see that. No, honestly, it was an honest mistake. I couldn't think of his name right now. No, I wasn't.
I think Jose Alvarado said
him right there. Him right there. Yeah, he was balling. He the hustle and the grind. I respect that. I love that from him. But I did, man. I did. But so you talk about the Pelicans. They have a bright future. If Zion is, I'm gonna say the dude's name. If Zion comes back, did you say something about he was thinking about coming back? Game 7.
Oh,
or some
so
crazy.
According to reports, Zion was rumored to be cleared to be able to like return to play, right? And the rumor was that if they made it to Game 7, he would have came back. But that's what the report was, and that he was planning a surprise return for Game 7, but unfortunately, they weren't able to advance. That was the thing I saw, and according to like the reports, I'm not sure if that would have happened or if it would have made a difference, but
I feel like if there was any credibility to that, I feel like we probably would have heard something probably came out before Game 6. But to put that,
the clips of Zion dunking.
I mean, honestly, it's good it didn't happen because he shouldn't have been playing. He still needs to heal up and get in basketball shape. He hasn't been playing with the team at all, so I don't know if it's probably going to be on as smoothly as those reports are thinking. Hopefully we see Zion next year playing a lot of games. Remember, as of right now, he's missed more games than he's played. So I just need him to get healthy, play basketball, and just go from there. Just get healthy. But the Pelicans have a lot of good players, man. And Brandon Ingram, another coming out season for him. CJ McCollum, being willing to say that this is Brandon's team. To get far, they need Brandon to be Brandon Ingram. Remember when he first came out, there was comparisons to KD based on his size and his ball handling ability, and we've seen that come to fruition. Like he's a decent passer. I saw that in the series, and of course he can get buckets. So he's not afraid. Confidence is there. I'm excited to see what the Pelicans can do if Zion come back. That's all rests on Zion. So this question too: would you give Zion Williamson a contract extension if you're the Pelicans?
That's another thing. I know this one's for sure. New Orleans, I would be hesitant to give him a long-term extension. Simply because, like you said, he hasn't played in more games that he's not played. And when he's on the court, love to see his, athletic ability displayed, but I don't know if I want to deal with that because Zion has to get healthy for one, and then two, he's got to. Everybody's like always question his, physical conditioning, and he has to really, really now be careful and get that under control. He has to be able to, physically endure the entire season. So I probably wouldn't. And according to New Orleans, I don't think they are very quick to do that either.
No. Yeah, I wouldn't do it either. I agree with you. At least see how it looks next year, and then based on his play next year, give him the extension after that.
Yeah.
How about this? See how he plays up into the extension deadline, then see how it is. Because most of the time, the extension is after the trade deadline. It's sometime after All-Star break. So we'll see what that is.
Right.
Yeah. We'll see. I'll just see how he's playing. Is he staying healthy? Is he playing games? How's he looking? Then, based on that, offer him the extension. Based off of that. That's what I would do. Yeah. That's what I definitely do. But if you're a Pelicans, successful season, in my opinion, I think you say so as well. They have a lot of potential. It just rests on Zion Williamson and his play.
Sure.
Yeah, I was thinking of the wrong team when I introduced it, but I meant to bring this up. But thanks for going for the flow with me. I meant to talk about them, the Nuggets. That's what I meant to bring up. But I said Warriors and Pelicans, but that wasn't the case. It was Warriors and Nuggets. But anyway,
yeah,
we needed to talk about them anyway. But anyway, Jokic got him one. Hey, Jokic got him one. I was that was one of my main things. He got him one. The MVP candidate got him one, and most likely MVP this year, based on reports. So he got him one. So he got him one compared to some other people. So good shout out to MVP player Jokic getting him one. But and he balled out. Game 6, he gave it his all. Not Game 6, Game 5. He gave it his all because they lost in 5 games. But he gave it his all. Jokic was really trying out there. It's not enough help. Just not enough help. The team wasn't healthy. Jamal Murray's out. Michael Porter Jr. But there's only so much you can do against a Warriors team like this with a breakout player in Jordan Poole. There's just so much you can do. So, yeah, not a whole lot you can do. I'm glad I got one. Better.
Yeah. We talked about it again. I think I gave him one.
You did. You gave him one. I think I called a sweep for real.
That one you called a sweep off for sure.
Yeah, this one I did call a sweep for sure.
But I feel like Jokic, even though he isn't, on a team where he has all these weapons, he can still manipulate and control the game enough to get you at least one. And to be fair, like this Nuggets team up against this Warriors team, slim chances that they would get this series. Slim, very slim.
Yeah.
And that's no disrespect to them. They just weren't on the same level or same page like this Warriors team is. Even with Steph, on a minutes restriction to start the series, and then Klay still adjusting. Jordan Poole, first couple games was great, and then he kind of was not a factor as much at the end, but they just have a different structure from those guys. But Denver, I think I would love to see in the next season or two with Jamal Murray. Honestly, with Jamal Murray, these guys could probably get there.
Yeah.
They still have a lot of, I feel like with Aaron Gordon kind of getting better. You got Uncle Jeff. DeMarcus Cousins was great off the bench, which I love to see. I'm hoping he gets a better contract. They'll be better next year. In the years to come, as long as they get healthy and Jokic is Jokic, they should be fine. But this Warriors team is just too powerful still.
Yeah, it was it's good effort by the Nuggets. It was a close game at the very end, but yeah, it was tough. If you're the Nuggets, I think you can say the season was successful. I mean, just all the injuries, you just knocked the season up to that. Jokic to still have his team in that place, in that position, says a lot.
Yeah.
Because you have core players that are out. Michael Porter Jr., if he gets back healthy as well, I think he could be a viable piece. Because this is his ability to shoot the ball, and he has size and length as well.
Oh, yeah.
To give you on defense. So, like if you go small, you'll be looking really good with those players. Jamal, Aaron, Jokic, Michael Porter. You put whoever you want to put at the other spot. So they have a lot of potential. I like the coach. I like Mike Malone. At least you got one. At least you didn't get swept. That's all I can say. And this is a championship caliber team. The Warriors, if they were going against another team, like maybe the Wolves, for sure they would have won the series. If they were going against, I think it would have been more competitive with probably the Grizzlies. Probably been a little bit more competitive, just based on matchups with Jokic. But yeah, still, it was a good series. Shout out to the Nuggets. Shout out to them. And then we got like one more team we got to get into and talk about real quick. The last one is this team right here. All right, so we also had the Mavericks in the series against the Jazz. The Mavs won the series 4-2. Now, I feel like I called this one about on the head right here. I ain't say this is gonna be sweet because they were without Luka. I think I called this one nailed on the head because I was like, without Luka, okay, it'll probably be like so many games. But Luka came back. I mean, 1-6, so I'm good right there. I'm good. But give me a second, bro. Give me a second to go off, bro. Let me give me the mic. I'm right here. So, the Jazz, Utah. Luka was out. He was out a couple games. You couldn't take advantage of it. You let Jalen Brunson go off. Like, come on. You could. This is an ample opportunity for you to get out the first round. You could have did it. You could have done it against the Mavericks, who were without Luka for a good part of the series, for at least a quarter of the series. To not make any adjustments whatsoever. Rudy Gobert is still on the court. We see Luka is dancing, literally dancing around Rudy Gobert in the paint, faking you left and right. I'm like, what is going on here? And you still don't make adjustments at all. Jason Kidd literally went small on you for a reason. If you see the lineup's not working, you got to change it. I like Quinn Snyder as a coach, but to not make those adjustments, come on. And then, man, Zay, did you see that game? You saw the end of the game, right? Utah had a chance. They had the ball.
Yeah.
Mike Conley, man, I hate this for Mike Conley. A travel. Committed a crucial turnover at that point in the game. I predicted the Jazz would lose, but not in this fashion. It's like they find more ways to just disappoint you. I predicted them to lose the series, but I did not expect them to go out like this. Donovan is not having great games. He didn't have a good series. He didn't. You go ahead. Enough. You go ahead, man. I'm disappointed in this team.
It's I think the Jazz are, because it was like, okay, Donovan, the young star, rising up, and we're seeing him like in the bubble go crazy, right? And him and Jamal Murray going back and forth. And I'm like, all right, this dude has that potential to take them over the hump, right?
Right.
And then you get to the next year, they get beat. Get to this year, they get beat. It's like, all right, y'all, they've been around and have, pretty dominant regular seasons for the most part, but they fumble the bag at the very last second. Man, you just want so much more for them. You just want that. You just want to see them, and you got guys like Conley, Gobert, Bogdanovich. You know what I mean?
Oh, I didn't get on him too. Man, he did not he couldn't make a shot. Man, at the end of the game, wide open. You can't ask for a better looking net from the corner. And that's tough to miss for that caliber player. Because Bogdanovich is a good player to me.
He's a knockdown shooter.
He has ability to make those shots.
Yeah.
Right? Man, I hate that for Mike Conley. That play right there. I hated that play for Mike Conley. But they still had a chance at the end. I give them props for having a chance. But
the Jazz, they're always. It's 3 years in a row now, man. Disappointing endings to their season, and it's just. I think it's not because like we don't expect it from them. We expect them to be good, but it's like you're right there. You just gotta like go a little bit over the hump.
Right.
And they just
is it
stuck
what is
right
it?
Here.
What is it though? To me, they got the role players. They got the pieces. The coach is fine. This play right here, open. Like, can't call for a better play. Like that was great execution.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's.
I can't think of something they need. Like they got good size wing players. They got a good maybe Donovan's not it, man. I mean, maybe just need someone else to help, like another all-star. But technically, Rudy Gobert is an all-star player, but I mean,
I think the adjustments have to be made with Gobert being on the floor and becoming, he's defensive player of the year, but at the same time, lateral quickness is not relevant to him. So you have to make adjustments and figure out how to play without him so you can match up better. And then offensively, I feel like they need to be, I don't know. They need rejuvenation in that.
That's what I'm saying. It's hard to say what they need because they got the players. But I'll say this too. Does it seem like no player really fears Gobert in the paint? Like you literally got Luka in the paint, like faking you out and still score you inside. That was inside the paint. I want you to talk about on the perimeter for that play for Luka. That was one of the most memorable plays for that series for me. Just faking him out, like this man. Like man, it was like no one fears this man. People want to try to dunk on him, and they're not scared to go in the paint. I don't think there's a fear for Rudy Gobert in the paint.
I don't know if it's like not fear or just knowing that he can be beat. Yeah. I think it's more so like, all right, you go straight up with him. He's probably gonna block your shot most of the time.
Right.
But if you get a running start and you're athletic like Russell Westbrook, you're gonna go in there and dunk on him, right? But I don't think it's out of fear. I think it's just that they know that he can't move side to side as fast. So if you can get him with some trickery, like Luka just was getting him, it's like, all right, well, yeah, he doesn't matter. He's slow. He's too slow. He's literally just like he's tall, he's big, he can block shots. But if he sees you coming, he'll block it. You can make him step right. It's gonna take him 45 years to come back. So that's all it is.
He got the height though. He got the wingspan. You feel like I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, I mean, this may not be as relevant, but he just is a liability on the perimeter. Like the game is coming where it's not really big man oriented. So when they pull these big dudes out on ISOs and you see Steph Curry out here making them spin around, it's like, all right, well, he should be in the game. Like,
you gotta adjust.
He's not it.
You gotta adjust, man. You gotta adjust. That's the only thing you can do. Try to get them. I guess on offense, all they can do is try to get a more so get to a point where they can play 5 out, so you can get more space for Donovan to attack the paint. Maybe try to find some player because Like, for example, if they had Bam on that team, a lot different. Whole lot different. But then again, I don't know if I can say that because, again, Mike Conley had some lapses and he wasn't up to par this series. Donovan Mitchell, again, like I said before, was not up to par in this series. He scored buckets, but it was like inefficient. So I don't know. And like I said before, blow it up. Blow it up.
Maybe, or just when it comes to the regular season, it's a little more lax, right? And by the time you get to the playoffs, teams know that they're not going to make adjustments, so they just hit them with the stuff they, did in the regular season because they aren't doing anything different. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Listen, the goal is to just be decent in the regular season. Okay, don't blow it up. But if you're trying to actually like win some playoff games and get a deep run in the playoffs, they probably need to blow it up because this ain't it. Either coaching needs to change, so after some time, the coach's voice in the locker room goes stale, especially if you're not winning or it's like the same thing every year. And you hit the nail on the head with that, man. It's like every year. That's why I'm just not hyped up. Even if they do get like the 1 seed, I'm not hyped up because it's like they still have to show me in the playoffs. So, but if they just want to do well in the regular season still, and be a regular season team, then they're fine. You don't have to blow it up. But if you're trying to do something, you got to make some changes. Because you can cause excitement while blowing it up, and getting some top draft picks. I mean, you still be relevant if you blow it up, because this team still has playoff run expectations from me. Like they should, but they don't. So I feel like you should just blow it up, especially when it's going to cost you money in a second.
Yeah.
So
big contract, I believe, and Donovan's contract, I don't know.
Rudy's contract, start over again. This era is not working.
Trade for some new players, man. Let's
do something. Get a new coach. I guess that's the least they can do. See if you get a new coach. Although I think reports are that he'll stay. I think those are reports. And I know the Lakers are trying to get him too, but get some new. I don't know.
Gotta get new blood in there. I feel like they put out maybe 2 or 3 players for the past few seasons.
Yeah,
and they have the same coach. I don't know. I don't think Quinn Snyder is a good fit. At least
not anymore. I used to think that, but I don't know. Something's going on. They need some type of new talent, some new talent, something to cause excitement. Get another good player for Donovan to play with. I'm not sure who that player is. Like a player, not CJ McCollum, but that level where it's like they can be an all-star, but that type of player. I can't really put a pin on who that could be, and hopefully they can get a wing player, either a wing player or a point guard of that caliber will work. And
I got a question. Do you think that the Jazz can win with Donovan as the best player?
As of right now, no.
Even if you were to trade for someone and, his Gobert is his second guy right now, right? But
right.
If they got somebody else, do you think they would win with Donovan as the best player?
It just depends on who that player is and what the asset they could be. But as of right now, I don't think so. And even if they do get a player of that caliber, I don't think so. But at least I think they can make a deeper playoff run than this. I think Donovan's capable of doing that, but I'm not sure championship caliber. As of right now, no. Not base. We're what have you done for me lately, league? I mean, I've seen him do things lately in the past 2 years, so
for sure.
So as of right now, no, I don't see him as the best player that can do that. Even if they do get a player of some type of magnitude. I don't know. How about you? Do you think he can be a best player on a championship team?
I mean, it depends on, like you said, who becomes that other guy. behind him, but he might thrive in a situation, in my opinion, where he's not the main focus.
Yeah.
If I'm not saying he should be like the fifth best player on the team, but if he was just the second best player because of how he plays, and he had somebody else that was drawing more attention than him, I think that he could probably make a even bigger impact because he would have a little more room to operate. And I feel like with Utah, they're like, all right, let's stop Donovan. Let's make all these other guys make shots. Gobert isn't going to give me more than 16 a game. I don't see that happening. So Donovan is on top of whatever summer he's got defensively, he's got to carry the load every night.
Yeah.
And if Conley isn't going, Bogdanovich isn't going, that's it.
What if the Jazz got De'Aaron Fox?
That could be interesting.
I think that could be an interesting duo.
That would be that might be the most athletic backcourt in the league if that were to happen.
Yeah, I don't know what the Kings are doing right now, but
they got De'Aaron Fox has to get out of the second. I
want
him in somewhere.
Or Donovan could go to. I think the Pacers could be another potential fit. But Halliburton, Mitchell at the 2. Got Miles Turner, who can spread the floor for you.
Yeah.
I mean, there are different ways. I think the reports is like New York, though. I think that's what people are saying. But I don't know. I think blow it up. But I don't know. If you can't get a valuable player, just blow it up, man. I'm done with the Jazz. I was already done with them, but they reached a new level with me. I cannot believe they lost the game that way.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Yeah. But yeah. But back to officially these predictions. You said, going back to you again, you said this man said the Grizzlies in 7. Can't believe that. All right, so even though the Warriors won game 1 today, all right, this is my thing. The Memphis got behind to the Timberwolves, who we just talked about are not smart. They were not a smart team. The Warriors are the antithesis of that. They're smart. They can actually do things. They don't make just dumb plays like that all the time. And today they were without Draymond Green for a whole half and some of a quarter. So, and for the Warriors to still come back and win in that game. I mean, and they stole game 1. So I was definitely going to roll with the Warriors before game 1 even started. I'm even more confident now that they won without Draymond. And you got to think about it. Will this Ja played well today, shooting the ball. Will this Ja Morant carry over on away games? Because that was an issue. On away games, Ja was not shooting well. And it was like it would take time for him to adjust to what was going on. And in my opinion, I think everyone else agrees, the Warriors are a better overall team than the Timberwolves and a better defensive team than the Timberwolves. So it took him a whole half to adjust for the most part in the previous series. You don't want to just get down to the Warriors because it's going to be very hard to come back. That's my down by 20. If the Warriors have you up by 20-something, I think you're probably going to lose that game compared to the Timberwolves because at least Steve Kerr's going to call a timeout and make adjustments compared to the Timberwolves coach. So I like Ja. Out of my respect for the Grizzlies, I'm going to say Warriors in 6. I don't see this as a 7-game series. I say Warriors in 6. We'll see how game 2 goes. If they do not do well in game 2, and the Grizzlies lose in game 2, may have an issue.
Yeah, you're right about that. I don't see them losing back-to-back at home though. I feel like even if they don't win the series, they can secure some of the home court.
Yeah. And with Jaren Jackson Jr. continue to be playing well as he did, because he didn't have a great series last time either.
Even if, I mean, that's definitely a big help for them, right? With his offensive explosion. But what he does defensively, and I don't think we gave him enough credit during the regular season, like as a defender. Just like being able to see him in these playoffs, he's been all over the glass and defensive presence at the rim. So I think that he's a big factor in this, and that if he shows up defensively, they have a better chance than people may think.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, I agree. Like, they're gonna have to play smarter if they're gonna stay in the series, because the Warriors are experienced and they know how to operate as a team. They're not gonna make those same bonehead plays as the Timberwolves.
Yeah, they're not. So that's why I gotta give them the win. So we'll see how it turns out.
One more thing.
All right.
Yeah. Also, I mean, just the fact of Ja and his like competitive nature. I feel like he's gonna come out extra tough because this is his favorite player to match up in Steph Curry. And last year in the play-in, even though they had Draymond and Clay and the team they have now, I feel like Ja had that confidence in last year. So this year, especially him, and he is the most improved player, even though he gave the award away, he's still in a different place than he was last year, and his team has gotten better. They really just have to be savvy when it comes to basketball IQ, and they can make noise and probably be able to defeat the Warriors. I think in a few games, if not the series.
Yeah, and there were some shots that the Warriors missed that were wide, that were open. Like Clay missing wide open shots, Steph missing open shots. I don't think that will happen too often. So yeah, I gotta give him that credit. Desmond Bane didn't have a great game, but I think he can bounce back. So it can definitely be competitive. I think the key to it is Jaren Jackson Jr. I think he needs to continue to be, to give you the defense. But if we can give you these offensive games, we could definitely probably have a series here.
Oh yeah,
we could definitely have a series. And again, Draymond was out for a whole half, and I'm glad the Grizzlies took advantage of that. But I just have to think if Draymond is in, I'm not sure if JJJ can have that many points, but we'll see in game 2. So we'll definitely see. But yeah, I say Warriors in 6, and Zay still rolling with the Grizzlies in 7. We'll see how that turns out. And yeah, we'll see. Let's roll with this next one. Let's roll with the Suns and the Mavs. So their series officially kicks off tomorrow. But we'll see what happens. You have Luka. You got Dinwiddie, Jalen going against CP3. You got Devin Booker is back. DeAndre Ayton. All right, how you thinking about the series?
It's definitely gonna be a fun one. I think it's gonna be a lot of scoring. I love what Luka's been doing. Shout out to Luka also for not breaking the record, but also being one of the second fastest player to get to 500 points in what he plays 14, 16 games. All the him and Michael Jordan have done that. So shout out to Luka for that. But I don't know if Luka's gonna be enough to take on CP and Aiden, Booker now that he's back. Mikal Bridges is gonna be a big factor in the series, guarding him. Crowder at some points. Like, they have a lot of bodies, a lot of wing guys they can throw at Luka, just to make it harder for him, because the ball's gonna be in Luka's hands for many plays. So if if Bronson can have a big game, if Spencer Dinwiddie can show up and give them a good 20 points per game, they have a better chance. But I'm still, Suns are just going to be too much for them. I think DeAndre Ayton's going to be able to outlast them down low, and their big men have been pretty good. CP3, obviously, coming off of a historic game. Devin Booker, I just hope that he's healthy and good to go. If he's healthy and good to go, it's gonna be tough. Tough series for Dallas. But I'm going with, let's say Phoenix in this one. Phoenix in 6.
All right, Phoenix in 6. I can respect that. Luka has been balling out since his return. I think a lot of us thought, how would he look when he came back from injury? But it seems like Luka is Luka. Luka magic, as a lot of people say.
Yeah.
He is definitely balling. He's the pick and roll. He was killing the previous series of the pick and roll, finding whoever. The step back shots, the inside game. He's got it all. I have a lot of respect for Luka and his game. Props to CP3. Literally had a perfect game in the closeout game against the Pelicans. Literally a perfect game. And it was definitely nice to see CP3. And he was the driving force for them to come back and beat the Pelicans, as we saw in that video earlier. So, man, it's a lot. I will say this. The DeAndre Ayton, to me, is going to be the factor here, I think. Yeah, they're going to be a factor. Because Jason, he definitely... Because unlike Rudy Gobert, DeAndre Ayton definitely has some. He can guard the perimeter a little bit better. He has some lateral.
A little bit better.
He's a little bit better. He's not as bad as Rudy Gobert in that area.
Yeah.
He's a little bit better. So I do expect for him to play a little bit better. And he's gonna be key. How well can you hold your own on the perimeter for a little bit? Can you take advantage of? Because I do believe Dallas may go small, but I don't know. Jason Kidd, I think he can adjust too. He was going small on purpose to expose the matchup, but I don't know. I'm excited to see what strategy he'll employ. But Dallas has a lot of good weapons on the perimeter, so it's gonna be all about the perimeter of the game. And if Dallas can hit the shots, that's what's gonna come down to. But I have huge respect for Monty Williams and the Suns. I do believe they'll pull out the series as well. But in order for the Masters to succeed and make it a series, they gotta be successful on the perimeter and try to maybe kick and they go inside, dish it out, maybe like they know they've been doing. But Phoenix has better defense. You got Bridges. He's gonna be a key factor. I'm sure they'll probably have him against Luka. Yeah, because he's definitely the best defender on the team. Not sure if Mavericks will try to get switches to maybe put Luka on maybe like a Jay Crowder or someone else, maybe DeAndre Ayton. But yeah, I think the Suns have more of the keys to win, and I would say Suns in 7. I would love this. I think this can be a 7-game series. I would love for this to be a 7-game series. But I'm going with Suns, but in 7 games. I think you got that much potential because I think Luka will definitely get you one by himself. He has potential to do that. If Jalen goes off, we saw in the previous series that he can get you one. And I think the Mavs will have one good game where they're all just playing superb.
They've gotten better as a team.
Yeah.
Adding Reggie Bullock this past offseason. And shout out to Dorian Finney-Smith, bro. Like, that dude improved a whole lot compared to last year.
For sure.
Just his ability to shoot now has been key for him. So,
yeah, it's been really good.
I think still, though, Phoenix is they have a better defensive team in comparison to this last team that Dallas played. So I'm going with Phoenix in 6 though.
Yeah, the other concern too is the defense and the Mavericks. That's my only other concern here, and that's another reason why I'm not picking them. They have some decent defensive games, but again, the Jazz just weren't up to snuff at all. There are a lot of bad games with them, and I saw some potential with the defense for the Mavericks. There was some potential there, but I think the Phoenix is the overall better defensive team. So yeah, that's another reason why I'm going to Phoenix. But I would love to see this can go 7 games.
Oh yeah, I think it'll be a fun series.
Suns in 7, yeah.
If everyone's healthy too, it'll be good.
Yeah, so we both going with Suns for that series. And we both predicted. Did we predict the Bucks and Celtics already?
Yeah.
I feel like we did. We.
I think we talked about them, but
I feel like we did. I don't think we made the official pick though.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that real quick. We already previewed the series already, so yeah, you have a pick.
I'm going with Milwaukee.
Really?
I'm going Milwaukee.
All that talk about Giannis. All right, you're going Milwaukee and what?
I think Milwaukee will win the series, man. This is tough. If Milwaukee, if Boston is healthy and Smart is good, Tatum, everybody fine to play, I think they can make 7 games. But as of right now, with the injury, with the Smart, I think they'll. I'm gonna say Bucks in 6.
Yeah, it depends on how these injuries play out, for sure. If these injuries stack up, it'll probably be Bucks in 5, based on the injuries alone for me. I'm going with the Bucks either way, but if the Celtics get healthy and they're the Celtics again, like last series Celtics, like one of the best defensive teams in the world, Celtics, I say Bucks in 6. I still can't give them 7. I still go Bucks in 6. But I still say Bucks in 6 because again, the main thing is Giannis. Like he's improved his game tremendously, free throws and everything. You remember people used to get on him about the free throws, and now he's just saying that's over now. Put him on the line. I dare you put him on the line.
This dude just works. He just works every single season, and his strengths become stronger, and his where his game had flaws. It's just like, oh well, he's shooting even better than ever. So
yeah,
just the level of work he puts in is just amazing to watch.
It is,
and to see it, you know what I mean. To see him shooting fadeaways in the post, it's like, man, on the baseline, just knocking it down with ease. He's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And say this last series for last. Again, we both went the Bucks. You going 6? No, you went 7. You're going Bucks in 7. I'm going Bucks in 6.
If Smart is healthy, then 7. But if not, 6.
Okay, I got you. Then we're just the opposite. And the last one, Sixers and the Heat. They play tomorrow as well. Again, the thing about this one, Joel Embiid is out for at least. He's eyeing a Game 3 return based on reports from today. Again, he is eyeing a Game 3 return based on reports from the doctors and him clearing concussion protocols. So, if Embiid returns, you probably have a good series, but it all depends on how these first 2 games play out if he does come back for Game 3. So, for me, James Harden hasn't been consistent enough for me. The defense for the Philadelphia is hit and miss. Again, they had the Raptors come back, and they're not nearly as talented as the Heat. So I definitely give the series to the Heat. I say Joel is out. My initial reaction is Well, this is for if Joel is out and if he plays. I still say Heat in 6. I still feel that way, whether he plays or not.
Okay.
James Harden should be able to get you one. He should, but I don't know if we'll see. If you saw the James Harden from Game 6, that James Harden can get you one. He can get you at least one. Maxey, if he shows up, if all these players step up in Joel Embiid's absence, they can win. And say Joel does come back for Game 3, he can get you one. So that's where the 2 comes from, honestly. So yeah, Heat in 6. I love the Heat's defense. Jimmy Butler will be back. He has some extra rest from being off, so he should be good to go. Victor Oladipo stepped up. That should give him some confidence because he helped lead the squad in that game against the Hawks. Tyler Hero stepping up. Bam. I just think it's too much. It really depends on how Bam can do against Joel Embiid whenever he does come back. And I think he can do well. I think Bam can hold his own. It doesn't mean Embiid is just stoppable, but I think Bam can limit him to a degree. And the entire Miami Heat defense can limit him. So, yeah, for me, Heat in 6, even if Joel is out or if he plays, either way, Heat in 6.
Nice breakdown. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Sixers.
No, you ain't.
Sixers lose 1.
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna go with it.
Yeah, I was like, no, you ain't, bro.
I think regardless of Embiid playing or not, I think that the Heat win it 4-1.
What?
I think the Heat will win it 4-1, 5 games. Regardless of Embiid's there or not. That's what I believe.
Ooh. Dang.
So I'm at with it. I think that Embiid is banged up.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, he's on a Game 3 return potentially if he is clear to play. But I don't, unless they just come in and Harden is like on, they don't have a big chance of winning more than one game. I give them that one out of respect because I feel like Joel could put together a good performance in a Game 3. Harden could show up for a game, but right now it's sad to see that James Harden hadn't been the same player. But and maybe I hope next year he's better too because I like him a lot. But yeah, I don't think they can come into Miami and take too many games, and that's why I got to go with my Heat in 5.
Yeah, that's a good point. So yeah, again, James Harden, and Joel Embiid does come back and he's good. That's why I say in 6. And it's hard for me to make an argument for them winning another game. I guess just if the role players play well, and that's the only other way they can get 2. So I can agree with you 4-1 in that case if Joel doesn't play, because James should get you 1. Now, if they get swept, we won't have. That's a whole another story. Because and if James doesn't look like James, or at least plays decent, then that'll be another story as well. So
yeah, I mean, even with Joel coming back.
Mm-hmm.
I know he can come back and can play, and I know how great he's been this season, but I think that his injuries, his thumb is probably going to bother him more than we expected to, because of even in the Toronto series, we saw his numbers kind of not be the same after that. So I feel like that's dipping, and now this other fracture being a setback.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he comes out and is as dominant, and plus, I mean, I know it's the new season basically when the playoffs roll around, but if I look at how we played them in the regular season, our defense against Embiid was pretty solid. So I feel like we have the means to contain him and make the other guys beat us.
Yeah, I think you do.
So
yeah, that's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very interesting. Yeah.
I'm always working with my guys.
Yeah, that's it right there. So, yeah, we did a lot today. We recapped the first round series and what it meant for those teams. We also gave you guys our predictions for the second round. And again, remember, the Warriors won game 1 and the Bucks won game 1. Make sure you're staying tuned for the rest of the games this week. Game 1 for Mavs and Suns is tomorrow, as well as Heat and Sixers. So make sure y'all check those out. I think those games will be on TNT, so we'll definitely be watching. We'll be back this weekend. Saturday, we're eyeing Saturday again. So yeah, I hope you guys join us for that. And thank y'all for rocking with us. Make sure you like, share, subscribe if you're watching the live stream on YouTube. Share with other people that also like talking hoops. Make sure you leave comments. Do you agree with any of our takes? If you disagree, let us know. Yeah, this is QtheGuru. I'm signing off.
I'm the executive producer. Catch y'all next time.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Thank you for tuning into the podcast, and thanks to our sponsor, SS96. Still rocking with us in 2022, and it's so amazing. We appreciate you. SS96 is putting out new merch and still has some of your favorites. Get your Xzequtive Productions t-shirts, Swish Masters t-shirts, as well as Farm Raised Entertainment t-shirts. Don't forget to check out Straight Stoners music, as well as my own release under Xzequtive Productions. It's available on all streaming platforms, and new music is in the works, so stay tuned. Go to ss96.net and use the promo code SwishMasters to get discounted merch today. Thank you all again. We're grateful.